He's editing his
And-
will.
Of course, that was the first thing to come on. Classic.
Birds are chirping again.
Anyway, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special edition of the Toonami Squad podcast sessions. I'm your host, Sam, at Sam299. And considering that this is a special occasion, we are celebrating 10 years, I had to do a bit of grave digging to dig out some people. So I'm going to introduce everyone in order of the oldest to the newest. So first up, we got our original boss. I mean, we still call him the boss, even though it's been a minute since we've seen him, but we still call him the boss. Joshua, JMB, how you doing?
Man, a few words.
I think he said boo.
Yeah. And then we got my predecessor for the podcast hosting, the guy that we always tell him to say to edit things out. We got Eric.
How's it going, gang? Long time no
Eric,
see.
edit
How's
it out.
everybody doing?
Doing
Still alive.
great. And then we got Mr. Gaming Zone, Phantom.
How's it going?
And then we have the Grandmaster of Aspect Ratio and the
Kami
number
Guru.
one fan of Main Abyss and Uzumaki. We got Silver.
Shut the fuck up.
What a classic. What a classic.
Yeah.
I'll allow Made in Abyss.
I could have said Takopi.
Uzumaki, on the other hand.
Well, he never saw the rest of Taco
It's
Bell.
kind of
He only
weird
saw
that
the
I
first
actually feel
episode.
nostalgic.
No, I refuse to finish that one.
Did we lose
Sam?
our host?
Oh,
Okay,
there.
I was
Okay,
like,
yeah,
oh,
that was... All right,
I
and
would've been
then...
like, short stream, everybody. Like, goodbye.
And then we have our certified cat lover here, the other Sam 1.
Hi, I didn't know I was being dug out of a grave. I didn't know I died. And also, he died. It's over. Okay, all right. Well,
Back it up.
all right. It's fun, everybody. No, for real, what the fuck happened? Where did he go?
I wouldn't know.
Well, then we have
Steve.
Logan.
Yo, I don't know what Sam 2 was gonna say about me, but hi.
And then it was Sam 2.
And I'm here.
Oh, there it
I
is.
don't know why my
And then we have-
my microphone killed me. Anyway, I was
And
gonna
then we have
say
Andre. I'm just finishing up introductions. Let's just get.
I
this
had
going.
nicknames for everyone. I was gonna be
Well,
like, and
you
then,
know what? Things
He
don't
had
go
his-
as planned.
Yeah.
I was like, and then we have Mr. Discotheque Logan.
I'm not Mr. Discotheque. I work for Mr. Discotheque.
Can you
He's
tell
bunny
Mr.
girl
Discotheque
lover
to license
Logan.
Hamtaro,
Thank
please?
you. See that? I'll take that one, Phantom. or whoever said it, because I'm not paying attention to the screen at the moment.
And then finally, the first time he's actually come on to one of these podcasts, we have our certified Kiss Sis fan and priest of the Church of Akane Shinjo, Andre.
I will say I'm a man of many peculiar tastes, but I never watched Boku no Pico.
Okay.
Damn, he started off with a nuke.
Oh man, that's
Uh,
funny.
that was
That's
good.
funny.
Boy, I'm feeling so nostalgic from the somewhat botched intro. What else is new, guys?
10 years and nothing's changed.
so
War,
yeah,
war
Was it
never
10
changes.
years now, nothing has changed.
so now that we got like the introductions out of the way, so yeah, Toonami Squad has been around for 10 years. And while I was personally not there for all those 10, obviously we had to celebrate the occasion. So I wanted to do this podcast live stream. And yeah, just like, so what I basically have is that I made like just like a bunch of questions to ask everyone. We go around answering them, pretty much reminiscent about our past. Like, it's not like much that I have planned for this, but still wanted to, celebrate 10 years because holy shit, the site's been around for that long. God,
We've been doing this
how long
shit
have
for
I
10
been
years.
here? Yeah, that's
I'm
insane.
surprised we lasted that long. I'm actually not joking. I'm surprised we lasted that long.
I'm surprised we made it past 5 years.
Uh,
Every year is a new surprise.
Mhm.
So I got like a few questions. So the first one that I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna go in order of oldest member to newest member. What is your role here, and how did you join? And the first person to answer that is gonna be Joshua. So take it away, Joshua.
If his microphone works.
He's passed out from the jokes.
I think he is.
No? Well,
Come on. Do something.
okay. Well, we'll come back to you.
While he figured that out, Eric, I leave it to you then.
Well, so it was what was the role here and how did you join? So pretty much boss recruited me. It was God, like I think it was like I don't know like how the whole story kind of came about, like the actual like coming up with it and everything, but it was basically we were all in the Bring Back Toonami movement, and boss just reached out to me and recruited me pretty much, and I basically came on as like I told him, I'm in college for editing, went to school for filmmaking and all that kind of stuff, and so for me I thought it was a great opportunity to kind of like do some Toonami content because I'm super passionate for Toonami, obviously, and it'd be kind of cool to kind of experiment with stuff that I was like kind of playing around with like editing or shooting stuff like that. And so basically, boss recruited me, and my role kind of came on as like an editor / creative director of sorts, and that's how I kind of fell into the squad at that point.
All right then. Phantom, what about you? What is your role here, and how did you end up joining?
I did a stereo box contest and I won.
That checks out.
No, but seriously, I've been doing YouTube videos. I've been making YouTube videos since 2010. Just kind of been experimenting videos as well, and just kind of reinvigorated my passion for Toonami during high school. And then Toonami came back. I wanted to do like Toonami style videos, and I retired 2013. And then 2015, I came back. I wanted to do more videos, and then I just happened to be in a DM with Josh here and recruited me. And so, in terms of roles, I'm also a video editor, believe it or not, since I edited videos from the Intruder 3 all the way to the Forge, I believe. And now, and I'm obviously a podcast host, and I produce podcasts. I edited one podcast episode. But nowadays, I am the co-creator, co-founder, and senior director of the Toonami Squad Gaming Zone, which is over at twitch.tv/TS Gaming Zone.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug.
And 10
Joshua,
years later, we're still waiting for the Toonami look back.
Yeah, maybe you should
Nah,
ask me that during 2020.
I gave up on that years ago, man. Just move on.
Yeah.
It's more dead than Jujutsu Kaisen's chances on the block.
here we go again.
Yeah, I mentioned it on my stream, but I did kind of quietly cancel it during 2020.
So Joshua, you here now?
Yeah, but it's still kind of
All right.
noisy. I'm trying to find a place where it's not so noisy.
You think you're able to answer the question, or you need a minute?
Just give me a minute.
Okay. Well, we move on to our next one. Silver, how did you what is your role here, and how did you join?
What is my role here? God, I do graphics. I help Steven with social media, scheduling posts, stuff like that. Occasionally I edit video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I joined. God, this is a throwback. You guys remember Google Plus?
Oh, God. One of the other things Google killed.
You mean Google Hangouts?
Killed by Google.
Oh, Google Hangouts.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
that
but it
old.
was also Google Plus. It was Google Plus. It
Yeah.
was like their
Well-
Facebook, Twitter competitor that never
Yep.
went anywhere.
Yeah, well, back then, there used to be a Toonami community,
hmm
and well, it was mostly dead, but I would usually be around there sharing promos, and eventually JMB like just talked to me about joining because he noticed that I was still actively posting. And honestly, when you're like one of maybe 3 people in the desert, it was inevitable that he might talk to me.
You kind of stand out a little bit.
Yeah. And I ended up joining, and somehow I ended up doing graphics, mostly because he saw like the basic thumbnails I would do for the intro promo, and somehow I ended up doing the original logo. Then somehow I ended up doing more graphics and more and more and more.
And
Yeah.
more.
Which then
I
led you to bringing me on, but that's another story.
But yeah, that's how I ended up here. And to my surprise, we're still at this. I didn't think we'd reach 10 years.
Funny enough, Silver, I still have some of the Toonami stream thumbnails.
It's okay. Dude, I have never erased a thumbnail.
Especially the Iron Blooded
every-
Orphan one.
Yeah, I have that one. Every single graphic, thumb, ratings, pick, I've done every single thing. It is in a backup. I have never erased anything. If you ask me if I still have something, I can pull it out right now. So,
All right.
yeah.
And you also made the current logo.
Yes, I did.
As I'm staring passionately at the medallion you made for us.
I wish I had a picture of this because I could have put it on, but yeah, like one of our Silver surprised us for 10 years and made a collectible coin. You can see on
There you
Phantom's
go.
camera there. He's made this collectible coin that he mailed to all of us. So thank you, Silver, for doing
Yeah,
that.
thank
I
you,
really
Silver.
appreciate that.
It was an incredible surprise that you made
It-
that. Like, thank you.
I just felt like we needed something to celebrate beyond the graphic. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
make a graphic easy, but something physical would be nice.
Yeah.
And
Ironically, the hardest part was not making that. I think it was just writing the addresses for all of you. Because I only write in cursive, but if I'm gonna mail something, it needs to be something the mailman can read.
Mhm.
So I had to write normally for the first time in years, and it was painful.
And the biggest mistake in all of this is that Andre now has your address.
I do slightly regret
It
that.
says
but-
Blu-ray Special Edition coming in next month. I'm gonna look out.
Please
Uh,
don't.
Expect a Woodland Warriors Blu-ray in your mail anytime now.
It's not going to be one of those like anonymous boxes either. It's going to be pretty obvious.
In hindsight, I probably should have documented the address for posterity's sake.
Yeah, all right. And now we move on to Sam. What is your role here and how did you join?
Well, I'm a writer for Toonami Squad. It's been 10 years, so my memory is kind of hazy on this stuff. I think what happened was is that I was in school at the time and I reposted a little essay that I wrote for a class I was in, and it was on Samurai Jack. And I think at the time I posted it on the old Toonami Squad forum.
The
Hmm.
.boards.net.
Yeah, the boards.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
It's still there.
God damn. Throwback.
And then I think JMB saw that. It was like, "Hey, you write pretty well. Would you like to join?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one I have is we have other members of Toonami Squad, but unfortunately not everyone could be on. So I asked them to just write me answers to the questions that I had, and I'd read them out loud. So our good pal, New York Red Bulls fan Steve, he decided to make whole video responses for these, and luckily I'm able to pull them up here. I was testing that earlier today. So the next person to go is Steve, and this is his answer.
So I am the senior social media manager as well as part of the leadership board for Toonami Squad. So I joined in 2018. I was in a group chat with a bunch of friends on Twitter. We all watched Toonami, and someone added Toonami Squad into the chat. And from then, I kind of got introduced to some of the staff since they kind of joined as well. And eventually it led to me becoming part of Toonami Squad. I got asked if, hey, do you want to run our socials? I'm like, sure, why not? That sounds fun. And yeah, I'm now fast forward years later, and here I am, like, still here, still running the socials, and yeah, kind of running things in a way.
Thank you, Steve, for that. So next up is my turn. So it's kind of funny. So like when at the time, because I have like a little quirk to where like when I like something or when I discover something and I become a fan, the first few months I want to say of me being a fan is like me being hyper fixated on said thing, and that was me with Toonami for the longest time, uh, and I got really excited when it came to like because I saw like fake templates of like bumper graphic footage and all that to like make your own bumpers, and I was like, oh, let me do this, and I literally knew nothing. Like I literally just downloaded cracked copies of like After Effects and Sony Vegas and was just making my own terrible Toonami bumpers, which are still on my channel. I don't recommend watching them. But then I got really invested into these programs that when I was graduating high school, I was looking at a local tech college near me, and they had a graphic design class, and I was like, let me do this, and I took it and had learned a lot there. Was and I was coming had a lot of experience and all that. And ironically, in my last week there, Toonami had just rebranded. This was 2018, so they had changed from their 2017 Vindication look to that green wireframe look that they had going for a while. And that was literally like the weekend after that broadcast. It was like I think after Fully Coolly Progressive premiered, and I was on my last week of class and I had nothing to do because I had finished all my assignments. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make like a little poster for the new look at Toonami, and I did it. I made it and I just posted it online. And then later that night, I get a message from Silver that's like, "Hey, can I use this as my profile picture?" And I was like, sure, go ahead. Just, give me credit. And then the next day, it's funny because I felt like I was being baited. The next day, I get a notification of like, hey, Toonami Squad followed you on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I go to their account and their first post is, we're looking for a graphic designer. And I was like, oh, sure, why not? And I sent them a message. I'm like, hey, can I be a graphic designer? And they're like, yes, come on in. And then I've been doing this ever since. And I have gained a lot of experience. Like, honestly, like I don't know where I'd be right now without being a part of this, because I was I still am, like, do the graphics, but I picked up a lot more as my time gone on. Did a lot more video editing, did a lot more with motion graphics, like, and then now I archive Toonami footage since Junior retired at the end of 2022. I was like, let me see if I could do this, and I did it, and I'm still doing it. So that's how I joined.
Hey.
But now our next one is another written response. Another member of ours, Bill, aka Geo, he wrote because he wanted to come on, but unfortunately he could not. So he just gave me some written responses. So I'll just read his answer here. He says, "While not as active anymore, I was the West Coast convention reporter for 2017, 18, and 19. And that's about it. Like, he didn't really say how he joined." So next up, Logan, what is your role here and how did you join?
So I'm the editor-in-chief, so I handle editing articles and editorials when I can actually find the time to get them done, because working two jobs is a real bitch. I also do occasional convention reporting, though I kind of like mostly act in a support capacity for that kind of stuff now, mostly because of my industry connection, so it makes it kind of hard to do press stuff as well. Not all that different from Steve. Basically, I was added to probably the same Twitter group chat that he was added to. I got added through a former member of the squad that kind of eventually just drifted out of the Toonami fandom. And just at some point, I was asked if I was interested in, taking up some various things. And it mostly started kind of with the convention related stuff, because I'm West Coast based like Bill. In fact, Bill was the first person from the squad I actually ever met in person, not counting the other former member. And then, just kind of parlayed what I do for like subtitle editing and, grammar and all that kind of crap, and, turn that into editing the articles and things like that. So, yeah.
All right. And next up, Andre, what is your role here and how did you join? And no, you cannot say Akane worshiper.
I mean, I thought that's the only reason you guys brought me on this show, but whatever. So how did I join? Well, like Steve, I'm a New York Red Bulls fan, so that's how I knew Steve. I didn't know anybody else here. And around the time I joined, which was like 2018, 2019-ish, I was helping out with social media for this former fan blog for the New York Red Bulls, went to Metro before SB Nation shut down. Yeah, before SB Nation just shut down everything. And then Steve recruited me on since he knew I liked anime. And I'm not as active anymore, but I'm like the bullpen arm, the guy you call in case of emergency. Knock out a few tweets, and here I am now.
Your tweets are still legendary to this day. Like Gridman, can never forget that. And recently, you did Dawn to Dawn for us, like you did the first episode. All right, and now for the final.
Can we just take a moment to kind of laugh at the fact that a little bit of context, but for a while we were stuck at below 10K followers, and then Gritman comes on. Andre becomes the one who live tweets the show, and his horny tweets are what pushes us over 10,000.
Whoa! Hold up! What do you mean horny? I'm sorry that I found a religion that I wanted to pursue here in this beautiful country of America with freedom of religion, I chose to worship Akane. And I
For the
prayed to her.
record,
I prayed
horny
to her.
or religious, you can't argue with results.
No,
I'm
and
just
I
saying,
do
I
not
prayed and we
argue
got
with
10K.
results.
Thank you.
I do
So,
not argue with
please
results.
Please redo whatever you just said, please. Thank you.
Okay, then let me correct myself. Due to Andre's religious tweets about Akane, we
And her
went
feet.
past 10K.
Okay, you did not say that. You did not
Okay,
say that.
Okay, I'm out. I'm done.
Okay. In a since
Point
we
is,
all
his
have
tweets
busy
on
lives,
Gridman-
I'd much rather us kind of
Yeah.
like get a move on and get.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, did I
And
miss something?
point is, his tweets on Gridman brought us over 10K. That's all you need to know. Anyway, so last person to answer this question, Daniel, he could not make it, but he gave me some written responses. So let me read what he had to say. News and social media editor for Toonami Squad. Back in 2012, the social media buzz that came with Toonami's return would inspire me to create the Toonami Trending Rundown. The rundowns have been quite popular amongst the community. Jason and Steve have said that they have looked at it and have helped the blog in regards to showcasing the social media buzz. And by 2013, Paul from Toonami Faithful offered me to join them and to assist in their trending and news reporting and to have an additional outlet to post a trending rundown besides Tumblr. I contributed to Toonami News for around 8 to 9 years, very proud of the work I did with them and the friends I met along the way. Unfortunately, growing creative differences with Paul, CJ, and the rest of Toonami Faithful management ultimately forced me to resign in 2021. Still a bit of a sore spot for me, so I'll leave it at that. I've long been friends with Josh and everyone at Toonami Squad here and have long assisted me with getting trends for the trending rundowns over the years. So upon leaving, Josh offered me to join you guys to continue to the rundown and give you all some assistance. So yeah, thanks for bringing me in. That was Daniel. All right, so now for our next question. What is your history with Toonami? Josh. Oh, wait. I just realized. Did Josh answer question 1?
No, he did not. I
No,
think
he
he was
did
having
not.
mic issues.
Oh, crap. Josh, did you, both questions. Answer question 1. What's your role and how'd you came? And answer 2. What's your history with Toonami?
If your mic's working.
Okay, well, my role with Toonami Squad was I'm the creator and founder of it. And eventually, first few people I brought in were Eric, Phantom, Silver, and then Sam One, and so forth. And here we are today, 10 years later. And my history with Toonami was I pretty much watched it since it launched in 1997 and was disappointed with its cancellation back in 2008, but then blew my mind when it came back in 2012. And then a few years later, in 2015, I just decided because uh, I was trying to make a Toonami trending guide video to help get shows trending, and then Eric decided to help kind of revamp it, and that ultimately launched into that. And then we just decided with all these ideas we were coming with just to go ahead and form our own thing, and that's how Toonami Squad happened.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Josh. Thank you for coming on again, by the way.
And he also helped me form Toonami Squad Gaming Zone.
Yes. All right. Eric, your turn. What is your history with Toonami?
Whew. My history with Toonami is significant for me personally because I've been watching Toonami pretty much not, I wouldn't say like from the very get-go, but definitely from like the first run, the Moltar era. That's when I got introduced to it. I don't remember exactly how I just came across it. I watched Cartoon Network all the time when I was a kid. So ultimately, it just popped on, and I just checked it out, and then I fell in love with shows like for me, my big three personally for Toonami overall is Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin, and Yu Yu Hakusho as my personal big three. Because I found those characters very relatable, and I've kind of talked about it in sporadic instances in previous podcasts and everything, but pretty much Toonami kind of saved my life in a lot of ways because, long story short, I was kind of very isolated and secluded at home because I wasn't allowed to like go out and see friends on school nights and stuff like that. So it was basically I was kind of like Gohan, and so that's why I kind of find Gohan very relatable. Going through like, hey, you got to study like all the time and everything. But the one time when I could actually like get away from all that, it was basically, hey mom, my show's on, and it was because of Toonami. And so I watched Toonami all the way through to its final run, and I remember when Toonami died the first time. I even came out of my room after they did the farewell speech at the end, and I was like to my parents, "Did Toonami just end?" And they just looked at me like confused, because they didn't know what happened. It was upstate and everything. And then it took me about like 2 or 3 weeks to kind of accept that happened and that was a thing and that Toonami was done during that time. And so I eventually accepted it and everything for the most part. And so I think it was like, how many years after that. And then I came across I was just surfing the internet, and I came across a website, I'll just say an illegal streaming website that was based off of classic Toonami. And that kind of helped me out, though, because during that time, my parents were splitting up pretty much. And, I just went after like that whole process went through and everything. I kind of went on like a nostalgic binge, and I was just surfing the website. The internet, watching old Toonami bumpers and everything, and then I eventually came across that streaming website, and that kind of it helped me because it reminded me of Toonami back in the day when I watched it all the time, and it kind of helped me keep going, especially the "Don't fear failure" message, and that kind of helped me through even during the toughest times during that time. And then shortly after that, I think I found out about that streaming site for like a year, was watching that on occasion. And then the 2012 April Fool's drop that started the whole Bring Back Toonami movement. And so when Adult Swim dropped that tweet of, hey, do you want it back? Let us know. I was like gung-ho, full on behind this movement and everything. And I didn't want to, I wanted every possible chance that I could get to bring back Toonami again. Because everything that Toonami kind of helped me at my lowest points in life at that time, I felt like it was more than just a action cartoon block at that point with the content that they provided. And I thought the world's better with Toonami in it than without. And so that's why I was like so gung-ho and so passionate behind the Bring Back Toonami movement. And then obviously I jumped on that and then joined these guys too. And it was, like I said, pretty much with all the help of these guys, whatever video ideas they came up with and everything, for me, it was a passion project for everyone. Every Toonami trending guide, the website breakdown videos, and the podcast too, the interviews that we've done, all that was like for me a passion project and a dream come true in a lot of cases as well. And again, like man, even now, like the last like 5 or 6 years, it didn't it it's just like I said, it's just every time when I feel like I'm at my lowest, I hit a lowest point in life. Toonami just always seems to be there for me anyway, and that's basically my Toonami history. It's always been there for me, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of other folks around within the community as well. And yeah, that's basically my history with it and why I love it as much as I do.
All right, thank you, hey, Eric. Next up, Phantom. What is your history with Toonami?
Okay, so before I answer that, can I just give a shout out to Knox for having a ultra rare Toonami themed GBA, or excuse me, Game Boy Micro. There are only 6 made. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Didn't know that, but that's cool. Knox, you need to tweet it or post it on Blue Sky or something. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to show it off. But anyways, I know I've talked about it in the podcast and been trying to remember that all day, but basically, my time with Toonami started with actually the very first Intruder, especially because with my big brother Nick D _ TV, he and I would play the online game that's supposedly connected to the story of the Intruder. With there was a code or some code word you had to type in, and no, we didn't win the vote for the engine for the Absolution. But after the Intruder, I just been watching Toonami here and there, been kind of focused on like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon shows. I don't know, Disney Channel had like shit shows. I don't know. Anyway, I pretty much tuned in to Toonami to the very end in September 2008, which I'm like, what the fuck is this? Did they actually can't? Is it actually over? I tuned in the following Saturday. They played Naruto, and there was no Toonami. There was nothing Toonami related on screen. I'm like, oh, it is gone. Shit. What else? And because of Toonami, I actually wanted to edit videos and joined a multimedia class, which I had to go to another town for. And that kind of, after looking up YouTube videos of Toonami, that reinvigorated my passion for Toonami. And when I heard it was coming back, because I didn't even heard about the Bring Back Toonami movement because I was going through a lot of things in my personal life, especially traveling between Michigan and Florida. I didn't even hear about the April Fool's stunt. Like I'll watch like Cowboy Bebop on Adult Swim proper, but I didn't even hear about the Bring Back Toonami movement until my older brother texted me that Toonami was returning. That kind of that kind of turned me around, and I felt some kind of joy. And my very first time watching the new Toonami on Adult Swim was in August, like a few months after they relaunched Toonami, which was, I think, oh god, I think they were God, I can't remember the promo that they played, but it's like all things must come to an end, but not Toonami. Somebody will have to.
Oh, I think that was for the Lucky Sevens promo.
The Lucky Seven.
Yeah.
That was for Erica 7 and Samurai 7.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Your memory's more sharper than mine.
No, it's not.
Evidently not. And I've just been watching Toonami on Adult Swim ever since, and I've just been making videos here and there, and then look where I ended up. That's pretty much it with my history of Toonami. Also, I am sporting a Shui Toonami shirt.
Nice.
From
Nice.
Daylight Curfew, which isn't producing merch anymore for Toonami.
All right. Silver, it's your turn. What is your history with Toonami?
Well, my history with Toonami is a little bit weird compared to, I think, everyone here. Because, yes, I used to watch Toonami when I was a kid. Don't remember what era I started on, but I do remember watching Dragon Ball Z in a few of the classics. The difference here is, well, I'm from Puerto Rico. I didn't know any English, only Spanish. So whenever I would tune in, Dragon Ball Z was cool because fighting explosions, but I didn't understand a damn thing. And that was basically the same with most of the shows. I would usually watch the Spanish feed of Cartoon Network, which I think was the Mexican broadcast or something, and the American feed. Years later, when I knew English better, I would actually end up like rewatching a lot of those classics. Dragon Ball Z's that one show where even if I didn't understand anything they were saying, you can still kind of see where things are going. And it's martial arts with a bunch of explosions and yelling. I think any kid, regardless of age or language, is gonna love that. But yeah, that's how it started. Ironically, wanting to watch Toonami and understand what the characters were saying in the shows was a motivation for me to learn English. And yes, it is rather bizarre that the motivation to learn English was to learn to watch anime with usually crappy dubs. Usually.
Usually at the time, a lot of crappy dubs.
Yeah. Though Outlaw Star has aged fine.
Yes, it
But
has.
yeah, that's how it started. I think by the time I think it was by the time Naruto was on, that's when I dominated the English language. So I think that was one of the first few shows where I actually really got into it, because by then I could understand what everyone was saying.
Boy, what a perfect show to start, Naruto.
Well, I don't know if it's a perfect show, but it's still fun. But yeah, that's how it started. The Adult Swim era. Well, I remember it was a night where I would off and off watch Bleach, and I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna watch Bleach. Saturday, I turn on the TV, and to my surprise, freaking Tom pops up.
Was this the April Fools or was this after?
The April Fools. So like I didn't watch the entire broadcast because I just kind of like, I would watch Bleach, but I would never like stay over too late. But I watched Bleach and I watched Dragon Ball Z, and it was glorious. And after that, once I started like seeing the campaign online, I was like, please God, please give me Toonami back. It's fine if it's just 1 month. And to my surprise, it's not just been 1 month.
It's been like 12 years, something like that.
Yeah, which I didn't think it would be that long. I thought it would maybe
like...
be a few years, but not 12. And since then, I've been along for the ride ever since. And I keep praying the ride keeps on going. I think I've gotten every show I've ever wanted on the block. At this point, every additional Saturday night is just a bonus round.
Yeah.
And I'll happily take it. But yeah.
All right. Sam, your turn. What is your history with Toonami?
So I remember watching Toonami back in the day on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network was my main channel growing up. And, I remember a bit of the multi era, but I mostly remember the Tom 1 era. But I do remember watching shows like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon. I actually do remember Reboot and a few other shows that ran on the multi era block. But anyway, I would watch it. I wouldn't say regularly, because when it went to weekends, it was sort of like if I was at home at the time, I'd watch it. If not, I would be out with family and doing things. But if I was available, I'd be watching it. I think at the time when they moved to Saturdays, that's how I watched shows like Megas XLR and God, what else did they air on a Saturday night? Oh, I think they also aired like Rave Masters on a Saturday night. So I have a lot of fond memories of the Cartoon Network era of Toonami. And I was not there when the block ended in like 2008 because I did not really care for the Tom 4 redesign as much. Like every Toonami fan says that. It's like, yeah, nobody actually likes that design.
The Thomas the Tank Engine Tom 4.
Yeah.
So when it went off the air, I was like, oh, that's sad. That was a major part of what got me interested into anime, but also just cool cartoons in general. And then when it came back in 2012, I didn't realize there was an April Fool's Day stunt because I really wasn't watching television at the time. My thing was like I was on YouTube mostly, and then maybe I'd check out a thing or two that aired on Cartoon Network if I cared enough to actually watch something on live television. And I think I remember seeing like a post from somebody I followed saying, hey, they brought back Toonami as an April Fool's Day joke. I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And then there was this whole movement about bringing it back. And I was like, I want to be a part of that. And I want to like make sure that this thing exists again, because I think it is an important thing to have on air, even if it doesn't serve the same purpose as it once did. So I was a part of that. And I've been watching the block on and off for like 11-ish years.
All right.
That's it. That's my story. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Our next one is back to our good old pal Steve. I will put his right now.
So I was around during the Cartoon Network era. I was one of those kids who came home after school. First thing they did was put on Toonami. First thing. Dragon Ball Z was my first anime during, those airings when it was on Toonami. But, yeah, I was not actually there for the revival, but I did get reintroduced to Toonami, like, kind of shortly after. I don't remember if it was my junior or senior year of high school. I don't remember. I know it was after a football game. I was exhausted from the game because, I played. But I remember scrolling through the channels and stumbling on Cartoon Network, and a show called Symbiotic Titan was on. And I'm like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. So flash forward a little later, I see it's Toonami. And I'm like, oh my God, it's back. I had no clue. So I was just locked in the rest of the night. Like, it's the block I grew up with it's back. And I've kind of been like committed to watching the block every Saturday night since that night.
Thank you, Steve, for that answer. So next up is my turn, and I compared to everyone else, I am a Zoomer or a baby, or I don't know what you want to say. Because I mean, I will admit that there could have been a time where I could have watched Toonami back then, but not to get too personal, but I grew up a very sheltered life. And my family was very strict on what I was allowed to see on TV. So anything like Dragon Ball or Pokemon or anything like that was not gonna go well. So I knew shows like Dragon Ball and Naruto existed, but I just never watched them because I would get in trouble for doing that. Like, so I mostly stuck to Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. Uh, and It wasn't until 2011 where I was watching Nicktoons Network and I just be watching like SpongeBob or whatever. And one night I just turned on my TV after coming home and it was DBZ Kai playing on Nicktoons Network. And I was like, oh, all right, might as well check this out. And then I was like, I need to see the next episode. And then they played the next episode. But then I had to wait for that Saturday. So then I was watching DBZ Kai on Nicktoons Network. And I was like, well, now I'm hooked. But it was funny because I was still being criticized. So, like, when I was watching Kai on Nicktoons, I had to like periodically change the channel if any family members were nearby because yet again I was still getting in trouble for that. And then like I saw DBZ Kai, which at the time was Cell, and then they played GT, and then I saw GT, and that was really the last anime thing that I saw. And then one night I was just scrolling my TV guide and I saw DBZ Kai on the TV guide, and I'm like, oh, Kai, it's been a minute since I've seen this show. Uh, Turns out that was Toonami, that was Adult Swim because it was the fight with him with Goku Vegeta, and I'm like, yeah, I remember this. But then Vegeta kicked him in the chest, and he started spewing blood, and I was like, I don't remember this. Like because the Nicktoons run was censored, and so this was the uncut version, and I was like, "What is this?" And then it cuts a commercial, and I see Tom, and I'm like, "Oh, this is that Toonami thing." Because I think I knew about it. Because it's funny because I remember one time I was vacationing at my grandparents, and every night I would put Adult Swim on for Family Guy because they weren't as strict as my family was. And then one night I was tuning into Adult Swim for Family Guy, and instead I want to say it was Dead Man Wonderland, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. I want Family Guy, and then I shut the TV off. Yeah. So it turns out that when I was watching Kai that night, it was Toonami. And I was, they got other shows. Let me see what's next. The next show was Kill la Kill. That was a good jumping off point. I've been ever since. I was like getting fixated on it because I mentioned earlier that when I get attached to something, I kind of like get really attached for a while. So that was me with Toonami because at that point I was like watching it every week. Then I was doing like internet because this was really the age of the internet. So then that's when I just started looking up stuff. Um, and then and then I joined Toonami Squad, which I already said the story to that. Just the fact that I'm still here and now like I've kind of made this. I guess my hyperfixation on this damn block never went away, but that's my history with Toonami. And next up, I got another written response from Geo, and he says about 15 years, watched from 2003 to cancellation in 2008, then from 2012 to present, and that's all he said. So next up, Logan, what is your history with Toonami?
So I mean, I was like, as the old man of the group, I had the like early, Toonami era. I didn't originally get it like when the block first launched because we didn't have a West Coast Cartoon Network feed at the time. So the problem was based on the hours that the block aired, I was still in school. So I didn't catch it until it was on. I was home sick one day and caught it at like 1:00 in the afternoon. But that was back when it was like still, mostly old, like, Turner, like library cartoons and like the occasional license thing like Voltron. So like that was kind of the closest to anime. like the early Moltar era and stuff like that. But then, I mean, I was watching when the Block's like original big blow up happened when, DBZ, Gundam Wing, all that kind of stuff was on. I kind of fell out of anime fandom in the mid 2000s, just was kind of burnt out on it. But then the revival of Toonami, that kind of resparked my interest, and it worked out good because they were picking up, a lot of shows that either Adult Swim had previously aired that I'd never watched, or just, getting older titles that, hadn't been broadcast at all just because it was, available to them for cheap. And, the great thing was it introduced me to a lot of people on, the so-called Anna Twitter, which itself directly led to my working on, stuff for discotheque and whatnot. So, it's kind of how it went for me.
All right, Andre, do you have a history with Toonami?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Like was mentioned before, grew up watching it with my dad, so I remember watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and then after that, after it went away, which I don't necessarily remember, I wasn't really watching too much anime, and then here's a flashback for some people. Funimation used to have a TV channel. If you remember Funimation, if you remember cable TV. So from there, I watched shows like Full Metal Panic, School Rumble, Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. So that's how I got back into anime, and then just started watching a ton of anime. And then when Toonami came back, I was pretty shocked. I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. So just started watching it every now and then, and now here we are. So we still follow along with what shows air.
Yeah, man. Although sometimes you're pretty blind, and we have to tell you, hey, this show's airing.
You still never live tweeted the last season of Food Wars.
He only tweeted the first episode.
The last season of Food Wars was not good or necessary.
I mean, I know that. It's just, come on.
All right. So our last response to this question is Daniel. He gave me a written response. As with many kids in the 90s and 2000s, I was a part of the Toonami generation of anime fans who got into the medium through the block. First saw Sailor Moon airing when I was randomly watching Cartoon Network one day, and alongside the likes of DBZ, Gundam Wing, Thundercats, Pokemon, and more, I was instantly hooked to the medium of anime. As for when Toonami was revived, tuned into Cartoon Network on April Fool's 2012, not even realizing that it was April Fool's night, I was just stunned as the rest of the anime world that Toonami returned. I fell off a bit from anime during the days of Toonami's decline and cancellation, but the revival reinvigorated my love for both anime and Western cartoons overall, and I've been watching the revived Toonami lineup ever since. Thank you, Daniel, for that answer. And now we move on to our third question, which is, what is your favorite show that Toonami has aired? Joshua, we start with you.
Man, a few words.
If you need a minute, we can get back to you. Eric, what is your favorite show that Toonami has aired?
There's so many. I mean, I'll go back to what I said before. Since they made like such a major impact on me, I would say my personal big three was Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, and then I'll also add One Piece and Naruto along with that list. And I would say those are like the god tier, top tier. Can't pick, any Toonami list without those, and I kind of put them all in the same level. And then of course I have other shows too that I love too, but I would say like those are like my peak ones. And also like I said, that made a major impact on me personally.
All right. Phantom, what is your favorite show that Toonami has aired?
I have to agree with Eric. There's a shit ton of those. Also, I just want to also shamelessly plug Sam 2's video that he did for the ranking of the shows.
The tier list.
The tier list
Took took a few years off my lifespan, which I didn't even think about saying that with my history. Yeah, I did a tier list, but yeah.
But in terms of like Cartoon Network, Toonami, obviously Dragon Ball Z, and what was it Bobo Bo 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 Bo, Zatch Bell, Naruto, OG Naruto, because I actually won a sweepstakes for Cartoon Network, which I got a Naruto headband, which is actually in my closet right now.
Nice.
And then for Adult Swim, it would definitely be Soul Eater. That was definitely one of the shows I really enjoyed before Toonami came back.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, remember they used to play anime on Netflix, and they still do. What else? Space Dandy, obviously. Kill la Kill. I can't English right now. I would say a comic got killed, but anyway. Parasite the Maxim. And then, of course, see, there are just so many shows. I just can't.
Yeah. I'm holding my tongue. I can
I
name a
know.
lot more. You named some of them.
Another one, Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a Gurren Lagann. That was actually a good show. I think I also watched that on Netflix, which ended up on Toonami. Bleach. Good lord, My Hero Academia, and Fena Pirate Princess, which only has the subtitle version. And oh yeah, IGPX. I can't talk about Toonami shows without mentioning IGPX at least once. I think that's about it. Oh, Don Da Don. Don Da Don. Yes. And I think that's it.
All right, Silver, your turn. What is your favorite show that Toonami has aired?
Too many, so I'm just gonna try to keep it into like a top 5.
We know you're just
With
going to
the
say One
excep-
Piece, and that's it.
with the exception of this one show, everything else has no order. Dragon Ball. I can't help it. I just have a soft spot for Dragon Ball. And when I say Dragon Ball, I don't mean the original, just that. Like, I consider Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z both together.
Everything.
Okay.
Like it's the whole journey. So
Yep.
yeah.
That's fair.
The rest in no particular order. Outlaw Star, One Piece, Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, and I have a soft spot for Big O. Just these giant robots, man. That's just it. Sometimes you don't need like the deepest plot. Just show me a giant robot beating up other giant robots, and I'm happy. But yeah, I would say those are like my favorite Toonami shows. Which I do find a little bit funny because it's funny. Like, I actually don't remember a lot of Big O, but I do remember loving it. Funny how the mind works.
I mean, Big O had I feel like some of the best moments in like their bumpers in between and their like music videos.
Advanced Robotics is still
yeah, exactly.
one of the best promo Toonami has ever aired.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say like that's the shortest favorite list I can give.
All right.
One Piece.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
All
there.
right. Sam, your turn. What is your favorite show that Toonami has aired?
Man, I could say Don, but that feels like cheating a bit. So, because it hasn't finished airing yet, even though I've already seen season 1.
You never know; they could bring out the Ninja Mechs in the second half.
I mean, maybe we'll see what happens.
I hope they don't let that show go.
I have 3 picks. I think the first one that I want to talk about is Space Dandy, because I think for me it came when I was in my final stretch of high school. But not only that, it was just a very important show for the block at the time. It was a new show from a legendary anime creator, Shinichiro Watanabe. And it is, without a doubt, a show that has a lot of significance for the block. I think it was that show that really did maybe convince them to like look at, hey, maybe we can make this more of an event thing. Maybe we can look at funding more shows like this. But also, it's just like, it's a damn good show. It's a funny show. It has a lot of heart, a lot of emotion. There's a lot of great moments in it. Rewatching it last year was just a very fun time. And I think I needed to watch that during a very depressing time for me. So I will always hold Space Dandy near and dear to me. It is a very great show. For anybody who has never seen it, please check it out. It is a great watch. My second pick would be Samurai Jack season 5. Specifically season 5. I like Samurai Jack as a whole, but I think season 5 is that specific one because it's the first new-ish Toonami original. Technically, Adult Swim funded this, but it premiered on Toonami. They advertised it as a Toonami show. So it's a Toonami original. And for me, it is like one of the best 10 episodes of a television show out there. I do think its back half is not nearly as strong as its front half, but the impressive amount of growth that Gendy and his team managed to create with Samurai Jack season 5 is damn near impressive. The amount of like movie level quality that you saw in that show, and you see that with like his next work, Primal, and just seeing this artist who has constantly kept evolving his art form and growing that art form through and through. You feel like he is truly becoming like, not even like he is the master, but he is like beyond that level, and he's still trying to climb that mountain. And that's just very impressive for a creative of his caliber. And then for me, the third show, I think, would be Made in Abyss. To me,
so Silver's favorite?
Yeah, of course. No, I watched Made in Abyss when it was originally locked to Amazon Prime Video. And I didn't know what to expect from it. It looked like a very cutesy adventure show. But what I love the most about Made in Abyss is that it subverts your expectations of what you think it is. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody who has never seen the show, because it is a show that really is very deceitful in its appearances. It may look cute, but it's not really a cute show.
I hate and love that show. And I'm so conflicted on it.
It is a show that it can be very fun, but it can also be very cruel and heart-wrenching, and it can be this emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. And I'm really glad that they decided to air it in 2022. I think that was a show that made a lot of sense for them to air. I wish they would have aired it sooner, but oh well. Probably didn't know it had a dub. Like most things from Sentai, they don't know has a dub.
All right. So our next one comes again from Steve, and I will play that right now.
My favorite Toonami show. That's difficult. Ah, man. I'm going with 2, and they're both from the modern era. Maybe a bit of a cop-out, but whatever. The first one being Attack on Titan. Yeah, it's top 3 for me all time. Any shows. But I'm going with it because I just love that Toonami got first dibs to it when it comes to the English dub from its initial run in 2013 all the way to the final chapters with an ending in 2024. It forever has a special place in my heart. I absolutely love it. It's what really got me into anime in general. Like, it really, that's the show that got me to take a serious deep dive into this genre. And yeah, the second show I'm going to say is Assassination Classroom. It's mainly because I campaigned so heavy for this show to be on Toonami. I'd say more than anyone other than like, well, Sonny Strait himself, you know, Kodo Sensei's voice actor. But yeah, it was such a rewarding feeling, like A, when it got announced, and B, actually seeing it on the block. It was just so rewarding. It was great. But yeah, those are my two picks for favorite show.
Thank you, Steve. And now we go into me. So I got a few, and I'm not going to take too
Well,
long.
what about Logan?
Wait, no, it's me. Then I read Geo, and then Logan.
Okay.
So one is DBZ Kai, because without it, I would not be here right now. Honestly, like, yeah, like a lot of people, and at the time that I saw DBZ Kai too, I was like, "Why are you watching Kai? DBZ is better because which stupid argument back then." But yeah, DBZ Kai. My second, Kill la Kill. I recently rewatched it when I did that tier list because I haven't seen it since 2015 at the time, and I just have a whole new level of appreciation for it now than I did back then. And it just being the second anime that I watched right alongside discovering Toonami holds a special place in my heart. The next two, I like One Punch Man, like just because, like at the time, everyone wanted to talk about One Punch Man in school and everything, and when I heard it was coming to Toonami, I was like, I gotta watch One Punch Man now. And also, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm just including the whole thing because I knew somewhat about JoJo, but it was really when Toonami was airing it that I got into and I grouped One Punch Man and JoJo together for me just because I don't want to get too personal. But at the time, I had a friend who, like, I really started like talking to them, like, because I introduced them to JoJo and One Punch Man and all that, and there's just like a whole other bunch of other stuff, and they're just kind of like grateful and all that. Like, not going to get too much into it. But with whenever I think of One Punch Man and JoJo, I think of that friend of mine, which unfortunately I don't talk to her anymore. But hopefully they're doing good. But that's why I put One Punch Man and JoJo and like one of my favorites. And my next, and I have two more. Like, one is Mob Psycho 100, which unfortunately Toonami only aired season one, which and Mob Psycho has become my favorite anime of all time because I really see myself a lot in Mob, and it's just kind of a shame Toonami can never finish it. But like, and I love season one. Like, I first saw it when it aired on Toonami, and then I just bit the bullet and watched season 2 and 3 like online, and rewatching it with my brother like really made me love the show. So I love Mob Psycho. And my last one, it's kind of a recent one, Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, because that also came at a really important part of time of my life, where I just felt like I needed that show like at that time because it hit me really hard with it talks about like bad like just work environments and like how bad the job can be, and you will want a zombie apocalypse just to not go to work. And there's a lot more. Like, I ended up reading the manga when it went on its hiatus, and it just made me love the show even more. So when I saw Toonami announce it, I was like, yes, because more people could see it. And I wish it could get more seasons, but unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. But yeah, those are my favorites. So now I'm going to read another written response, yet again from Gio. He says, at the time, childhood me, 8 years old, absolutely loved SD Gundam back in 2003. Adult me, 20 years old, loved One Piece and Akame ga Kill in 2015. And that was all he said. And next up, Logan, what is your favorite show Toonami's aired?
This one's too easy. Put quite simply, it's Big O. Not only is it my favorite Toonami show, but it's also my favorite anime of all time and has held that position for 20 years. So, I mean, it's Batman with a giant robot. You can't get any cooler than that. So, yeah, literally that's it. Enough said.
All right, Andre, do you have a favorite show Toonami is aired? And no, you can't say Kiss Sis.
Well, you said that Toonami's aired, so I feel like you're just throwing out random shows. But anyway, it's fortunate that Toonami has actually aired a couple of my personal top 5 anime, just like straight ever. So, in no particular order, because I don't even know what the order is, but Fire Force and My Hero Academia, both are personally my like top 5 anime of all time. But Akame ga Kill is a great one. Gurren Lagann's a great one. We were watching on Netflix back in the day. Also, shout out Sword Art Online. I didn't really watch it much on Toonami until like the later seasons, but I remember when it first came out back in 2012, and I always thought the first half of that season when they're in Aincrad is quite simply one of like the greatest animes ever, and then the second half of the season falls off. And it's the same with the second season. First half's great, second half falls off, but the rest of it's pretty good. So, but yeah, so special shout out to Sword Art Online, which somehow hasn't been mentioned yet, because I just think that's a genuinely great show. And if everybody who watches anime is wondering why all these isekai are coming out, I think SAO is a big reason why.
Unfortunately. All right, so oh wait, Daniel actually didn't make one for this because he did an early version of my list. So I guess we'll move on to the next question we have. What is your least favorite Toonami show? And we will kick it off with Eric. Unfortunately, Joshua can no longer attend, but his participation is very much appreciated. Eric, what is your least favorite Toonami show?
I mean, obviously, there's a couple. I would say ones that I've watched, because the obvious one is Woolen Warriors from back in the day. But a show that I hated that I actually attempted to watch that Silva reminds me is okay, but it's not for years now. Tenchi GXP.
But it's so bad it's good, though.
It's not. It's no.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah, but my opinion is right when it comes to Tenchi GXP.
Sure, buddy, sure.
Like Woolen Warriors, Tenchi GXP is up there. I'm kind of tempted to say like Eureka 7 because of how bad that ending was, but the first half is pretty good. So it's hard for me to kind of include it, but Hamtaro.
Well, hold on. Hold on here.
That's a technical foul, man. Technical foul.
Don't care.
What did the hamsters ever do to you? Aren't they cute?
They exist.
Oh, they are cute.
You're technically getting it back next week with the next Daima episode.
Fair. I always thought like a Gundam, the little kid one, like when they're like mini bots or whatever.
SD Gundam.
SD. I always thought that one was kind of weird too that they showed on Toonami.
think that might have been like a requirement from Bandai at a point.
Most likely. But just, you asked me my least favorite, so those are up there for me anyway. I would say those are like my top crap list. Not gonna lie, sorry.
All right,
I think that
Phantom.
covers everything.
Phantom, your turn. What is your least favorite Toonami shows?
Rick and Morty, the anime.
Oh, that's a good pick, actually.
Good pick, actually. That's a really good one.
Fully Cooley Grunge.
Okay.
Oh, what else did I not like? I was about to say Shenmue the animation, but I barely remember a single thing from it.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately,
Uzumaki.
Yeah, that's a good pick, actually.
The snails, man. It's the snails.
Ugh.
And God, what else? Kind of ran out of steam after that. I mean, I'm still in disbelief that your least favorite is Hamtaro.
Oh, it wasn't the worst, but it's among the worst, in my opinion.
Wow. Wow. We can't be friends. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Housing complex.
I guess I'm retiring from Toonami Squad. Bye, guys.
I'm choking my own spit. Housing Complex C. Akami got killed because the killing of certain favorite characters. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, Boruto.
All right. Silver, what is your least favorite Toonami shows? I think I know one of your answers. Ninja Kamui.
Okay. I'm not gonna say Black Lotus because I feel like that's one of those few shows that it's just an acquired taste. And honestly, it's fine. The one show that I genuinely don't like because it made me have to rewatch it multiple times is Ninja Kamui. Genuinely.
It's getting another season.
Fuck you.
It's getting 2 new seasons, actually. It's getting 2 new seasons.
Fuck you double. Because I need you guys to understand when I have to make a finale graphic, well, usually I take maybe I use a screenshot of the show of a scene I really liked, or at least that left impression on me, or I use the vibe of the show that I got when watching it. Ninja Kamui, I got none of that. There was genuinely nothing that would grab me, so I ended up rewatching the show multiple times. And every time I would see like the cracks in like the shots, the scenes, the script, and I freaking hated it by the time I finished the graphic. After I finished it, I went, finally, I don't ever have to watch this show again. And then they announced 2 more seasons. Which, by the way, Sam 2, you're doing the finale thumb for those 2. I am not touching that again.
Well, if Rick and Morty gets another season, you're doing that.
Rick and Morty, honestly, I wouldn't say that one's bad. It's just boring. Nothing stands out. if anything, I think that's the biggest insult a show can give, because when you watch a show, it's to be entertained. But if you don't even have a reaction to it, then I would argue that's worse, because it left no impression, neither positive or negative.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
So I'm not even mad at Rick and Morty the anime or disappointed. I feel absolutely nothing for it.
I feel whelmed. Just whelmed.
Not even whelmed. I just literally feel nothing. Yeah, Ninja Kamui. I hated that one. And I don't ever want to work on it ever again.
All right. Sam, what is your least favorite Toonami show?
My least favorite Toonami show. I mean, if you know me, it's you might not think it's one that you think it is. I'm gonna say Tokyo Ghoul. It's my least favorite show that they have ever aired. I now, to be fair, I didn't watch it when it was airing on Toonami. I already saw all of season 1 and 2 before it aired, years prior, because I had a Funimation subscription back then. And I didn't like it back then. I had no desire for a rewatch on Toonami because I already knew I didn't like the show. I wasn't going to waste my time with it. I dislike it for many different reasons. One, it's a bad adaptation of a really good manga.
Considering that I just recently read that manga too, I understand that now.
But even without that being a very butchered adaptation of that, it's just like it was a show that did not need to air on Toonami. I don't necessarily understand why people kept saying it should, because it's not that good of a show to begin with.
To further rub salt on the wound, that was also when One Piece was canceled.
Yeah, it was also that was the One Piece replacement, which I didn't really care about. Like, whatever. One Piece back then, I mean, it's sad, but I understand their reasonings of why they needed to let it go.
Yeah,
I wasn't upset over the reasoning. I get it. Ratings, that's a main driving reason of why you don't want to renew something.
Yeah.
But to replace it with Tokyo Ghoul, no, man.
The best way to describe it, it's like going to a nice, juicy steak from a very fancy restaurant.
To like McDonald's.
And then you go to McDonald's.
Actually, you know, it's not even like McDonald's.
The worst
like
McDonald's meal.
No, I would say it's like the worst Burger King meal. Like, it's not even on the level of like a McDonald's meal.
The
worst fast food you can think of. Let's just put it there.
I'm agreeing to this part of the conversation.
But yeah, and also it aired before it aired at 1 a.m., which pushed Hunter x Hunter, a show I was actually watching, to 1:30. I didn't want to sit through fucking Tokyo Ghoul to watch Hunter x Hunter. I'm like, guys, why are you running a show that already has a dub that's been out for years when you're already premiering a dub like Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
That was always a bad programming decision. I will never understand that decision. But whatever. It aired. Nobody liked it when it came out. Nobody cared about it when it ended. And, well, guess what? They never bothered to get Tokyo Ghoul Re. Probably because they watched the show and went, this is dog shit. We don't want to air this.
The only sad thing about that is that I just would have liked to have seen the timeline get loud for a certain scene in the show, but that's it. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. So we bring it back to Steve in his submission right here.
Oh boy, my least favorite Toonami show. I think it's pretty clear what it is. If you know me, you probably already know what it is by now. And that's Rick and Morty the anime. I try to give everything I watch a chance, like at least one episode or even 3, sometimes a little more. But with Rick and Morty the anime, I couldn't get through the first 15 minutes of that show. It was not good at all. But yeah, before I say anything really bad about it, that was my least favorite Toonami show probably ever.
Thank you, Steve.
As somebody who saw all 10 episodes, it does not get better. Actually, it has some like bright spots, but I mean, like for the most part, it's kind of crappy.
All
I'm
right.
upset with myself that I didn't mention it because I completely forgot about it. That's how much I.
That's how most people feel. It's like, oh yeah, oh that existed. Oh right.
It's Rick and Morty too. It's hard to even forget a Rick and Morty thing.
So now my turn. If we're talking least favorites, these were like because when I did the tier list, I was rewatching a lot of shows, and at the time, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember liking these shows." And then rewatching, I was like, "What the fuck?" One of them, which drove me insane, was Akame ga Kill. Like it is a fine action show, but when I was nearing that end, I was like, I'm losing brain cells. I did not like that ending. And then one that kind of killed me a bit was that Dimension W, because I remember at the time watching it on Toonami and I thought, oh, this is pretty neat. I like this show. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, bro, I like this. I was like, I liked it. I liked the first like sections. But then when they got to that island, I was like, sucks. Trying to think what else. One one trying to remember what it was. One that kind of killed me though was Uzumaki, and it wasn't really like I understand Sam's points about like it's not terrible, like it's probably one of the best Junji Ito adaptations, but it was more on the fact of like having that and Ninja Kamui just before it. I like I literally lost it when it came to the whole originals thing, and I was just like, I'm not getting excited for these anymore, and I went on a whole rant about it, and I was just like, God, like not to say Uzumaki was terrible, but the feeling it gave me in the end like broke me.
It's fair. Very disappointing.
I'm trying to remember what else. There was oh god, like my memory is a little fuzzy. Oh, and Gen Lock, like the Rooster Teeth show that they gave. I liked the first. At the time, I liked it, but then I was looking at it again, and I was just like, I don't know. I just meh on it, and that's pretty much all I got to say on that.
I would like Michael B. Jordan to actually make like a good anime series. That's just that's my thing.
All right, so my next is another written response from Gio. His least favorite is Boruto, for the fact that it was airing in tandem almost halfway into Shippuden.
Yeah.
And that's all he had to say on that. Now we move to Logan. What is your least favorite Toonami show?
So this one was kind of a tough one for me because I was sort of tossed up between worst because it squandered its potential, worst because it's forgettable, and worst because it's just dog ass. Like everything I've got are all shows that have been mentioned, so I'll keep it pretty brief. I think for the show that blew its potential, I have to go with Blade Runner Black Lotus, mostly because coming off of Blade Runner 2049, like having been relatively recent. It had all the makings of another incredible expansion to the Blade Runner universe, but it just failed to deliver. And I mean, visually it had its issues. I mean, it got certain things right, but it just screwed up more than it got right. And I think the fact that Adult Swim replayed it to the point of running it into the ground just didn't help. Mm-hmm. For most forgettable, it's Dimension W. Like that show exists. I couldn't tell you anything about it at this point, but it exists.
The intro's a banger. That's it.
That's true. Breakdancing. I will give it that. That is valid. For the show that's just dog ass, it's got to be Rick and Morty the animation or the anime. Like it literally managed to kill any last remaining interest I might have had in Rick and Morty as a franchise. And like even to the point that some of the early episodes when I was at Anime Expo, I just threw through Cartoon Network on, and literally like there were early episodes and I changed it over to Comedy Central because I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. Even though they were like early episodes that I liked of the original, like, you know, the mainline Rick and Morty, the anime just killed it that bad for me. So yeah, those would be my picks for least favorite.
So I just realized real quick there was one I actually forgot. I'm not going to take too much on this. One of my least favorites, though, Sword Art Online. Just for the simple fact that at the time I saw Alicization, it was the show that had that crash happen. But also at the time when I was watching shows binging old shows, that was a mistake. And I still hate Logan to this day for giving me that bonus chapter to read. And then I hate myself that I intoxicated myself when I decided to read that. And now that's kind of become an infamous part of my life. Well, not life, but my
Your
time.
lore. It's your
lore. My lore.
Hey, at least we got Morgan Freeman, AI Morgan Freeman, reading that chapter. That's something.
Yep. All right, next up, Andre. What is your least favorite show on Toonami?
All right, I got 3. Uzumaki, god awful. You guys are pulling your punches. I'm sorry. That show sucked. It just flat out sucked. Animation,
I mean, it's all right to have shit opinions.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
at least the first episode was
animation dropped, and then the story went like 1,000 miles per hour to the point where I didn't even understand what was happening, which is wild. Second, Tokyo Ghoul, but the first season was good. Everything after that, total shit show, in my opinion. And then I was watching it when it first came out. Loved the first season. So excited for the second season. Second season was terrible. Third season comes out. I didn't even finish it. It was awful. And then last, and certainly not least, Attack on Titan.
I hate you.
I just couldn't.
Wow.
I tried.
Oh my god. Why is he here?
I tried when it first came out. Toonami did a whole marathon of the first season back in like 2014. I watched the first like 5 or 6 episodes. I couldn't. A few years ago, I watched like 6 or 7 episodes. I just couldn't. I don't understand the hype about that show. It is garbage. It is trash.
Oh my god!
Says the guy that loves Kiss
Slander. But why does the final season need 2 parts?
Okay, that I give you.
I'll give you
okay, that.
The final season. Oh, the final season part 3. Oh, final season part 4. Why?
Okay,
why?
that was bullshit.
This bullshit. This garbage show. This garbage show did not need 4 seasons. I'm sorry. Absolutely terrible. I absolutely hated it. I was so bored, and I keep being told, "Oh, you just got to get past like the first 12 episodes." If I have to get past 12 episodes to enjoy your show, I'm sorry. It is terrible.
See, and the worst part is to me, like, you know, if you didn't get in on board, like with the first few episodes, you're never going to get on board. So,
yeah.
That's the thing is anybody who is telling you like stick with it past the first 12 is ridiculous. Like, if you were on board after like 4, no, you were never going to be on board. So like,
usually it's always a 3-episode rule with any anime. It's like if it doesn't hook you within the first 3 episodes, there's no going back to it.
Yeah, and in the case of Attack on Titan, it's one of the few shows where genuinely the first season is one of the best seasons of the actual show. If you didn't like it after the first season, then you know what? It's fair that you don't like it. Like
that's considered the best season. Oh my!
I don't really agree with that take. Considering I've seen
not the best season, just one of the best, stronger first seasons. Let's say
it's supposed to hook you. For the shit
if that doesn't hook you, then you know what? It's fine. We get it.
Yeah.
Because like after episode 12, they told you, no, in 12 more episodes, you'll get it. No, wait a minute, hold up. In the first 12 episodes, that's when you see the Colossal Titan the first time. That's when you see it the second time. That's when Eren turns into a Titan. If that doesn't grab you, yeah, okay, we give up.
Meanwhile, he'll go back to watching Nukitashi, whatever it's called.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is. Can I go on? Can I get a minute of this?
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but the plot of that show is actually good. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Someone kick him out.
No. Here's the question. Are you talking about the plot or the plot?
I'm talking about both.
Because that makes a difference.
Because after the first 3 episodes kind of lose you, but once you get to episode 4, that's when it really picks up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why are we talking about?
Okay. Anyway,
moving on.
I see Joshua's back. I don't know if he's available.
We're gonna get demonetized.
Uh,
We don't even make money, and we're gonna get demonetized.
Joshua, you there?
Yes. To be fair with what Andre was saying, like I did like the first few seasons of Attack on Titan, but then the later seasons I just kind of fell off. Like I had no idea what was going on. Like I have no idea how they got from point A to point B. If you get what I mean? Like I have no idea like why Aaron wanted to just destroy the world. I don't know if I might have missed a few episodes or what, but I don't know. It just the latter seasons just fell off on me. Like I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, thank God he left.
Yeah, he had to leave now, but
Yeah.
I commend him for sticking around this long.
Yeah.
Also, fuck Gabby.
We shamed
All
him
my
for
homies
his
hate Gabby.
taste. It works.
So Joshua, I'll give you both questions. What is your favorite and your least favorite Toonami show?
Yeah, well, quite a few favorite. I guess the first one that will always be a favorite for me, Soft Spot, which I would have to agree with Silver is Dragon Ball because that was like the first show that got me into anime and Toonami. I mean, a few other shows it would take too long to name. As far as shows I hate, I guess Tokyo Ghoul would be the main one. There are a few others like the latter season of Attack on Titan. Trying to think what else. Not really many other shows that come to mind at the moment. I may have missed it, but I'm kind of surprised. Silver didn't mention. Oh god damn it! Now I can't think of the name of the show. The what was it called? The first one that I guess to do it 2049. I can't remember the name of it now.
Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade Runner, Black
Blade
Lotus.
Runner, yeah,
Black Lotus.
yeah, because that literally Civil worked overtime on Thanksgiving week, and for nothing, it ended up being.
Oh, the movie night.
Yeah.
Oh
you-
yeah.
you-
When they did the whole, we're gonna have a Toonami night and we're gonna show Blade Runner 2049, and it's like they didn't even air bumps because apparently that would eat into their ad time. Which I'm like, wait a minute, you've aired movies before. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Well, you missed it because now his new nightmare is the Ninja Kamui bumps. Oh,
Yeah,
or
and
the Ninja
Silver's
Kamui
gone.
graphics. And
I made Silver leave.
nah, he's coming back. It's just this thing's never accurate. All right. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next question, and that is, was there anything you did for the group that you felt very proud of? And Joshua, I'll have you answer this first.
Yes. The one thing that I can say off the top of my head that I did for the group that I'm very proud of was getting our website listed on the name of fan websites on the official Toonami paid website for our 3rd year anniversary.
It's a shame that website's like pretty
Yeah.
much not the same anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even update it anymore.
No.
Yeah. But we're on there.
Yeah.
We were. Nobody's on it now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're still on Toonami Wiki.
I think so.
Eric, was there
Yeah.
anything that you did for the group that you felt very proud of?
I think I mentioned it before, but definitely the trending videos, the website breakdown videos for both Toonami Squad and Toonami Faithful. You know, that was a thing. And I would even say, even though the articles associated with it was a little bit controversial, but the thumbnails for the what's it called, I think it was like the first Toonami fandom address and the Sword Art Online article situation and how that kind of blew up a little bit, even though it was a bit controversial. But yeah, no, like those are the ones that kind of stand out to me since I've been part of Toonami Squad. But like I said, almost everything that I've done for it has been great. I'll even throw in the interviews too that we've done. Getting a chance to interview Jason DeMarco and Maki Terashima. Those, you know, that was a kind of dream come true. I never thought I'd be interviewing Jason DeMarco for one, or like I said, the president of Production IG. So
No, she wasn't the president at that point. I forget her old
yeah,
title.
I'm just saying
Vice
for
president.
the current day
Vice
accuracy.
president.
Yeah. Full disclosure, yeah, but you know, that was those are definitely on the top of the highlight reel for the Toonami Squad run for sure. And, yeah, that pretty much covers everything that I liked. That I contributed to it.
All right. Phantom, what about you? Did you you know what the question is?
Yeah, I do. I do have it on my notes. There's honestly a couple in mind I've been thinking about all day, other than editing the one podcast episode we did. Was it Rick and Fools and something else? But the one interview that that I edited was the one we did with our Bruce Elliott. Has to hold a place in my memory because this was kind of a collaborative interview that we did. It was we were using a software at the time. I think it was called FCC. It was a call conference software. But anyway, I say that because years later after we interviewed Bruce, I actually met him in 2022, and I mentioned the interview, and years later, I catch him at conventions once in a while, even signed my copy of Space Dandy. And besides Gaming Zone, yeah, just the interview, doing these interviews, those were fun. And then the one article I remember writing specifically was the My Hero Academia one, which I think was a month or so before they announced that My Hero Academia was coming to Toonami. That article did a whole place in my memories as well, so that's a boot it.
All right. Silver, your turn.
The thing I've made that I'm most proud of. Honestly, there's a few because I guess I'll just mention a few. The current logo for one, because it's the I love the original logo, but it used
It was a
basically-
bad time.
okay, yeah, but like before that, I used a public domain image as the basis for it. And so even though I did make it, it wasn't something that I fully made. The current logo is something that outside of the Toonami symbol, which I have saved up on the laptop by default, it's something that I actually put together. And it wasn't easy. I think I went through like 8 different versions and only shared like 3 of them. But I'm very proud of that. It's like I love the original logo and all the iterations I made of it, but the current one is one that I actually like put together. It's ours. It's not based off a public domain image. And the second thing would be the first Bebop rebrand we did for when we had a Bebop marathon. It's a personal favorite of mine because I have there's certain extremes when it comes to making stuff based on shows and movies where it's either so mainstream the internet is flooded with fan art, so you can't really do much without going through hundreds and hundreds of pages of fan art to get an official something, or it's niche, obscure, like IGPS. That's the other side of the extreme where it's a Toonami cult classic, but it's only a Toonami cult classic, so there's barely anything of IGPS. And Bebop is one of those shows where it's mainstream, but it's not flooded with fan art. And I ended up finding high-res scans of art books of when Bebop was released, way back then. And so that branding was me going through as much of old Bebop art as I could find and putting it together. And I love that kind of work because you end up going through a treasure trove of old school official art. And the third one is, well, back when Toonami celebrated its 25th anniversary, I attempted to make a bunch of wallpapers. Kind of fell apart halfway, but I ended up delivering some. But I'm very proud of the IGPX one because, like I said, there are two extremes to getting material. And IGPX is one of those shows where it's a classic. If you celebrate Toonami's birthday, big anniversary, you gotta include it. But because it's a show from the digital era, there's no high-res art to be scanned, so there's none of that. Any wallpapers that were released back then, they are barely 1080p. And so I ended up having to gather anything I could find, do some AI art, AI upscale, and then retouching the upscale to make sure it looks proper, because you can't just upload a picture in 480p and then press make it 3 times bigger and it'll appear fine. It will appear blurry. So you end up having to touch that up, and that was a whole process that I was not prepared to make, but I ended up making a wallpaper for it, and I'm very happy and proud of it. I don't care if it's a show that barely anyone knows. I'm proud that I made it. And the final one is the Run the Jewels rebrand we did, because it's a case where I wasn't that confident about making that rebrand, but Steven really pushed for it. And so what ended up happening was I would work on it, but I would have him through a voice call, well, video call, whatever you want to call it. And he would I would basically put work on it, and I would constantly like check up to see, hey, so you think this is like, does it fit the vibe of the Run the Jewels album that they're using? And like constant checking. So it was one of those few instances where I was actually like working with someone on a rebrand live. Like it wasn't just me making something and then sending it out. So I would say that's the shortest list I can give.
All right. Sam, what about you? Was there anything you did for us that you felt very proud of?
Well, first, I want to say this will probably be my last question because I'm about ready to crash out. I'm sorry, I'm just really tired today. But I'll combine these two questions because they're basically the same thing. What am I most proud of, and what is a highlight for me? It would be interviewing Maki Terashima Furuta. I hope I pronounced that right. I feel like getting to interview, well, being one of the first fan sites, and I think actually one of the first people outside of maybe Anime News Network that got to interview Maki. So that was a big deal for us at the time, and I think that interview still came out pretty well. It was nice chatting with her. I'd love to have her back on. Maybe we can do that, but I don't know. She's probably busy and probably, I don't know. But I still think about our interview with that, and I still am very proud that we were able to get her on. It was a very good moment.
Was that it?
Yeah.
All
And now
right.
I am going to leave because I'm going to go lay down and rest.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Stuff, bud.
Hey.
Yep.
Good to hear
Have a
from you.
nice night, y'all.
Pet the cat for me.
I will do that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So our next one comes again from Steve, and I will put that up right now.
Thing I'm most proud of, I want to say it's the Run the Jewels rebrand that we did for Holy Calamavote. It was super short notice. Like, we did not have much time to pull that off, but I had the idea of like, wait a minute, if we're gonna do something for Run the Jewels, let's go all out. Really, I really had to convince Silver. I'm gonna be very real. I really had to convince Silver to do this. But he went with it. I'm a big Run the Jewels fan. I have all 4 studio records on vinyl, and I pretty much went with, let's really, really go all in. Like, let's make our logo look like the album cover. Let's almost have the thumbs be more like a music video, like a little AMV with all the tracks from RTJ4, just the instrumentals to go with the show. And it really came out great. It really did. I'm so proud of it to this day. I really am.
Thank you, Steve. And now it's my turn. So I would have to say 2 things. One is when we had that whole rebrand to the new logo. Like, I was wondering to myself what to do, and I managed to cobble up a little video to introduce the rebrand. And that was also like really like one of the first times I really started experimenting with motion based graphics and all that. I don't want to say animation because it wasn't really animation. But I was really proud of how that video came out. And the other one was resurrecting the podcast, because at the time we could not, for the life of us, get the podcast going. Like, we took a big break because that was 2020, but we really needed to get it going again. And everyone just could not decide on what to do. And then Silver just gave up, and I was like, you know what? Let me do this. I'll take care of it. And I like took a different approach to how we did it back then, to where like we decided to do this on a, I say monthly basis, but sometimes it goes from monthly to bi-monthly. It pretty much depends on on how much news we get between podcasts. Like example, our last podcast, that's like still up to date, surprisingly. Like has not gone outdated. That is a shocking thing to happen. It has not been outdated for this long. But I resurrected the podcast and I put a new spin on it with like these videos, which I honestly work too hard for, and it can kill me sometimes, especially my computer, because Sony Vegas hates the podcast. I posted pictures on my Twitter on like the render times that those things go up to, because they have tendency to crash. So I end up losing a good 10 to 12 hours sometimes, just on the worst case scenario. But yeah, I'd have to say like resurrecting the podcast, and just I think that's really about it. I mean, I would also say like archiving, but that's not really a Toonami Squad thing. But yeah. So the next one, we take it back to Geo, and he says, I always felt satisfied with the convention coverage and the interviews I did, whether solo or with team members. Yeah, that's what he had to say. And we move on to Logan. Was there anything that you did for us that you felt very proud of?
So this again kind of springboards off Bill's answer right there. Despite the eventual end result, which was almost my honorable mention for the last question as far as squandered potential, I was really proud of being able to break the news for Uzumaki's announcement at Crunchyroll Expo. Bill and I, and like we were both there that year, and we'd gone to a session about a Crunchyroll podcast that was kind of like anime industry and like influencers and stuff like that. And the first person that was going to be a guest on this podcast was Jason DeMarco, and they'd invited him out to have this panel talking about the podcast. So we went to that just to see what he'd talk about. And after the podcast, after the panel, we got to talk to him and Maki, and Maki told us, hey, if you guys aren't planning to go to the Junji Ito panel this afternoon, I'd recommend that you do. And Jason was kind of like, yeah. And so we went, and it paid off for us because we were there as they announced it, and we're able to, basically be the, aside from like sites that had press releases like Anime News Network and whatnot, we basically were able to break the news that that Uzumaki was getting produced. And I mean, granted, it would, became kind of a point of almost hilarity at how long we ended up sitting there going like, yeah, we were there when it was announced. It may never show up at this rate. And then when it did, it was not exactly a highlight, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, still it was definitely, it was cool to get to be able to be part of, breaking the news on that.
Yeah. All right. And the next one is Daniel, who gives me another written response. He says, got to attend Anime Expo in San Diego Comic-Con on behalf of the squad and the Toonami community, meeting with and interviewing folks like Bryce Pappenbrook, Jason DeMarco, Greg Baldwin, Deneen Melody, Kimberly Woods, Michelle Ruff, and more. Unfortunately, been falling behind on posting stuff due to personal matters, but hopefully trying to correct that in the near future. Thank you, Daniel. All right, so our next question, which I was told it sounds similar, but like I'll explain the difference, which is like, what would you say was a highlight moment for you here? Which, like Steve asked me, they sound the same, and I was like, well, technically something that you did that you're very proud of. Well, a highlight moment doesn't really have to be about you per se, just something that happened that was a highlight. So Eric, I give it to you.
For I guess so a highlight from like I guess the whole Toonami thing or the Toonami squad thing. Honestly, it's like the whole the whole thing. um because I'll put it like this. It's basically the whole bring back Toonami movement into the birth of Toonami Squad and everything that we've done up until this point in time. Because like I mentioned before, like with my story, so I was fortunate enough to actually catch it, the April Fool's joke, for a little bit, and the funniest thing about it was that I just happened to log on Twitter, so I made my Twitter account like I think like a year or two before the April Fool's thing dropped, and it was like kind of the beginning jump of social media. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram was kind of popping up. And so like 2 years before that whole thing went down, I was like, fuck, screw it. Let me make a Twitter account. Why not? Type of thing. And I made it and I didn't touch it for those. I made it, I had it, cool to like experiment with for a little while, and then I just kind of fell off from it. And for whatever reason, just something in the air, something in the cosmos, literally was like, just made me pop into my head of like, hey, let me check out my Twitter tonight. All of a sudden, and this was the day of the April Fool's prank. So something in the cosmos told me to just log on to Twitter for some reason. I was checking out the trending stuff, and then I saw Tom's back. Toonami's on Adult Swim, and I'm like, huh? And so I turned it on, and the whole thing. I got to watch Yu Yu Hakusho and everything. And then, like I said, the whole bring back Toonami movement, everything that we accomplished, and actually accomplishing bringing back Toonami, because and on top of that too, like that was a time where it's been like back and forth where it's like a company like Cartoon Network or even Adult Swim even acknowledging like a community or a fan base out there and basically asking them like, hey, do you want this thing back? And us going, yes. you know and the fact that they responded to it and they did it with us annoying them about it and the whole thing, and actually acknowledging us and actually following through with that promise, I think it speaks volumes. And it's something that I think it's not really looked upon as much, especially within other industries, because ultimately these companies are made and put together in order to, make money and all. And part of that is kind of, in my opinion, like acknowledging the fan base and the community, and just seeing what the what does the community want that we're talking to. And so and then of course everything going into Toonami Squad and everything that we've accomplished between like I keep on mentioning, like the interviews, the website building, the special stuff that we put together, the special thumbnails as Silver and Sam, and even myself, and even I know Phantom's done a few back in the day as well. Like everything that we've put together with Toonami as like the bread and butter, I think it's just incredible. And I would say that's probably the best way I can answer that question. And why I kind of appreciate everything all the way back from the Bring Back Toonami movement up until Toonami Squad, and I'll even say like Toonami Faithful as well. Like, and we go back and forth sometimes, but ultimately, it's because we love Toonami on both ends of on the spectrum, and yeah, that's basically how I could put it. It's all love at the end of the day with that kind of stuff.
All right. Phantom, what about you? What would you say was a highlight moment here?
Oh, let's see. Easy. Interviewing Sonny Strait for the first time. I would say it was our highlight. Yep. Mr. Tom One himself.
Mm-hmm.
No, the other way. Yes, he doodled on my Funko Pop. But besides, I guess besides interviews, honestly, just breaking news about Toonami French or Toonami Aaron in French, I believe.
Toonami France.
Of France, thank you. That was another highlight. I would want to highlight the record talk. I can't English right now. I'm so sorry. But that's about it. Kids love it.
All right, thank you, Phantom. Joshua, what would you say was a highlight moment for you here? Like, it doesn't have to like be particularly related to you, but just any sort of moment with us, like in the site that was a highlight. Uh,
Didn't realize
oh,
my mic was muted. Sorry.
are you good?
I would say a highlight for me would probably be when we interviewed Sunny Straight. What was it? 4 months after we launched, when Intruder 2, like we got our first interview with the OG Tom 4 months after we launched. I said that was a pretty good highlight. And can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Like, was that it?
I mean, obviously there are some other highlights in interviewing Jason DeMarco, Maki. I mean, quite a few highlights over the years.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I mean,
You good? All right. So, Silver, what would you say was a highlight moment for you here?
A highlight moment. You know what? I'll mention like a personal one, and then and then a more general one. Personal one is the fact that I managed to make the current branding for show graphics in a single week. I need you guys to understand. Back when I used to do them, I was working part time, so I had a lot more time to do that. This was the first time I I did all that with a full time work schedule, and my work schedule is entering at 10:30, leaving at 7 p.m., and I end up arriving back in the apartment at like 7:40 something to then eat, and after all of that it's like 9:30 and I'm already exhausted. So usually what I've done for some time is I don't just do all the work in a single day. I like spread it out through weeks to like make sure everything does end up getting made. So when you see a finale graphic, I didn't make that in a single week. Usually I start like 6 weeks before the show ends or season ends. So if you're wondering why Fully Cooley Grunge and Shoegaze were just okay, well, that's why. These seasons are only 3 episodes, man. I need more work. I need more time to work.
God, that was still the most memorable thing that happened. Oh yeah, by the way, there are 3 episodes, guys.
But yeah, those two were a nightmare. But I'm particularly proud of being able to make this branding, because it's just like I wanted to do it, but I really wasn't sure I could still do it because it's been a while. And again,
Yeah, and I
have a
took your job for the last one.
yeah, and squad canon is you stole the laptop while I was sick. That's why I didn't do the graphics. For the
Yeah, who
last
knew? Who knew that you would get a nice 4-year long vacation? This is like the longest we went without a rebrand.
Yeah, that was also my other worry. Like, damn, I haven't made this shit in 4 years. Can I do this? So, yeah, it's a bit weird that that's a highlight for me, but like, I didn't think I could do it in a week. I was scared to the last minute. So, personal highlight for me. General highlight, uh, feels like I'm copying Eric, but like the whole journey. Like the fact that I've been doing this for 10 years. This is by far the longest I've been a part of something and worked on something. The fact that I've done something like this with friends for that many years is something that I never thought I could actually do. Like, some of these friendships are longer than the friendships I've had in school. Like,
Yeah.
so just being along for the ride is a highlight for me. And I'm so happy that we somehow made it to 10 years. I won't ask for another 10 years because I don't know if that's even possible.
I'm
But,
asking for another 10 years, just for the record.
what? But yeah, just the whole ride has been amazing. The entire 10 years is a highlight. Well, even ignoring the bad parts, the 10 years is a highlight.
Mm.
All right. So next up is Steve once again, and I'll get that video going. Which this, yeah, 6. Okay, just making sure.
Highlight moment. I want to say finally being able to meet at least some of the squad in person. Granted, it's only been like 2 interactions with being Andre and Daniel, but it's still special nonetheless. Like, you've been talking to these people like online for years, and then you finally get a chance to meet them in person. Like, that's special. It really is. Like, I've met Andre a few times, and Daniel was, I was in San Diego like by chance like a few years ago. Finally met him in person, and of course, we stayed in a room together for MLS Cup last year, which was an entirely special trip on its own. But being able to meet someone from the squad, like in person, on top of that, yeah, that was pretty memorable. So that's what I'm going with.
Thank you, Steve, for that answer. So it's my turn now. And I would have to say, sorry. One is that recently got to meet up with Logan and Daniel at Anime Expo, and that was very fun and memorable, and I'll never forget that. Getting to report from the Viz Media panel about Rooster Fighter being one of the first people to break the release window for that, and just getting to hang out with them because this wouldn't be the first time I met Logan. We met up at Otakon last year, and then I did Anime Expo this year, and Daniel kind of surprisingly just tagged along too, and that was a fun time. And we've just kind of like been starting to make it a yearly tradition at this point to do more con meetups, which is great. And the second thing is, this is weird to say. I don't want to say it's like, oh, the entire thing, the entirety, but like for me, because before I joined Toonami Squad, I was someone that was kind of already following a lot of the fan sites, fan pages, and just people that were Toonami adjacent, like Junior, like JP, Reckless, and all that. And and then joining Toonami Squad, it just kind of felt a little weird, like eventually getting to actually like talk to, like, you know, a lot of you guys, and then even the guys at Faithful, like Junior, like JP, and then even getting to talk to Sketch, having him on our podcast, and vice versa, me getting to be on the Toonami Faithful podcast. That was like, I would never see that like, you know, back then.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of crazy, because like I've said multiple times that for the longest time I was like someone on the outside, like just looking up, and now I'm like getting to, you know, like be on the other side, and all of that. um there's another highlight, but it's not really Toonami Squad adjacent, but I used to attend MomoCon a lot, and when Toonami had their panels. So I got to see Jason a few times. One time Steve Bloom, because he was there one year, and all that. I think in 2019. Was it 20? Yeah, it was 2019. That was my first year at Toonami Squad, so I actually did report what was happening, which at the time I think it was like Fully Cooley, Progressive, and Alternative got their subtitle release. It was Lupin Part 5 and Gundam The Origin they showed off, and just, you know, absolute fun time. And it would have been great for the next year, but that thing happened, and I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, I still feel
yes,
bad about
the
what
Backstreet
happened.
Boys reunion tour, as the Game Grumps like to put it.
But yeah, I believe that's all I had to say on that. And next one is Geo once again, and he has to say, if I can find it, a highlight moment I had was also shared with a fellow member, Logan. This was Anime Expo 2019 and Crunchyroll 2019. During Anime Expo, Maki from Production IG had hinted us to make sure we attended CRX. At the time, we didn't know it, but that was the big Uzumaki announcement. Little did we know a pandemic and a little less than 6 years worth of production and licensing issues between us and the new show.
Oh wow.
Yep. And Logan, your turn on this.
Yeah, so this one's going to echo what a few of you have said. Getting to meet a handful of the squad at sorting conventions and stuff over the last few years. I definitely hope that more of us can meet up in the future. The thing is, like, I'm of that internet generation where my parents told us never trust people on the internet because they're only out to kidnap you and sell you to drug lords or some stupid shit. And keep in mind, these are the same people who fall for Nigerian prince schemes. So like, come on. like boomers, I'm calling you out. Sorry, but you guys made your bed, now you got to lie in it.
Nah, keep calling them out. They deserve it.
But like, the thing is, I mean, some of the people I've met on the internet have like literally opened the door to new career paths for me, and like I've made legitimately valuable friendships, including the people at Toonami Squad. So like that for me, that's my highlight moment. Even if it's more of a series of moments.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, sorry to cut in, but like, yeah, that was also a highlight. Like Otakon last year, getting to see Logan and actually like meet Logan and the rest of the discotheque crew and all that.
Yeah, and obviously that's a highlight for me too, getting to meet all of you guys through the years and all the friendships I made and stuff.
You got anything else to add, Logan?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right, so I got another written response from Daniel. What would you say was a highlight moment? Meeting up with Logan and Sam at Anime Expo this past summer. Also got to meet Steve a few times, most recently at last year's MLS Cup. All right, so the next one, and I feel like I already know half of y'all's answers. Any funny any funny moment with us, whether it be an inside or an outside joke. Now, Joshua, it's his turn, but he sent me a video that he wanted me to play on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fulfill his wish. Where did I save that? Oh, right here. He wanted me to play this.
And I'm silvering look pretty.
I'll play that again.
And I'm silvering look pretty.
You're welcome, Joshua.
I hate all of you.
Joshua, was that the only thing, or did you want to say something else?
Where's that look back, Phantom? And oh, Eric, I needed you to edit a few things out. I guess that's about it.
Honestly, it has been a long time since I saw that video.
Eric, what about you?
Honestly, I didn't even think I was going to find it. I literally just found it like right when I sent it to Sam.
Pretty much what the boss said. The funniest moment for me is definitely when I acted like I committed suicide in the middle of a podcast episode trying to end it. I think it went on like an extra probably like 20, 30 minutes, I think. Where it was just like, I'm moving towards the button, I'm gonna kill the stream. And just can't freaking end the show. It was the infamous inside joke of Eric edit that out, where these schmucks kept on effing up the podcast and adding more stuff for me to edit out. And then I just took it to the next level where I was just pretending like I was having a mental breakdown because of it.
Yeah, the Inuyasha review.
Well, that was a follow through of it. That was kind of like the ultimate. Actually, yeah, that was the ultimate payoff, because you guys, sending me that video caught me completely. Have I told you guys the whole story of leading up to that? Actually, yeah. So, well, I guess for the audience that that probably hasn't heard this story, but yeah. So I did a little review for the Inuyasha Blu-ray release, and the funny thing was that this happened during the pandemic. So we got in contact with, or Viz Media, I believe, reached out to us to do a review for their upcoming products, and one of them was the Inuyasha Blu-ray release. I volunteered to do it, and then the pandemic happened, and I was under the impression that they were going to send it over, and then it just never came. And then I think like 2 or 3 months after we didn't really hear anything, I suddenly got a package at my house here, and it was the Inuyasha release with a couple other Blu-rays. I'm like, oh damn, I gotta make this video now, damn it. So I go into it and everything, and I start making the video to do the review and everything, and then these guys, they send a they got in they got in contact with David K, the voice actor for Shishomaru in Inuyasha, and he did like a whole thing, and they cued him in onto the Eric edit that out joke, and then I incorporated that into the review itself. So that was like the payoff. But like I said, originally it was a podcast episode where we were trying to end the show, and these schmucks just wouldn't end it. But it was hilarious, and I think I even remember making Sam one cry, which is I'll take that with a badge of honor too.
Oh,
All right, Phantom, your turn.
do I get to fucking say it?
You're not going to be the only one saying it, so might as well.
Well, I'll do you one better, because we all know JJK won't be on Toonami, but that it would be actually the time I went to Disney Springs and I get to customize a Coca-Cola can. So I typed in JJK won't be on Toonami on a Coca-Cola can and sent it to the Discord. In hindsight,
sorry, you were saying?
No, you're good. In hindsight, I probably should have bought it and sent it to you.
That would have been something.
Yes, I would
Hold,
second
hold
that.
up,
That's what
hold
you
up a
should have
minute.
done.
Hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. Hold up a minute.
And then
You had an opportunity to take the joke to the next level, and you didn't do it. Are you mad?
I mean, it was kind of an afterthought, but
Get off the computer. You're grounded. Go.
fuck you.
Go to the corner.
Actually, there was actually one more inside joke, and I actually have a screenshot. It was I can't remember what for the life of me was Josh doing, but he had to step out for a while. And this was specifically in December of 2020, and he pretty much said, don't do anything stupid." Sam 2's response was, "Does something stupid." Logan immediately does something stupid. And then Steve does something stupider. And then Silver does something stupid, even stupider than stupid. That was kind of another inside joke. And then, of course, the Silver and I Look Pretty video. That was fucking hilarious.
So many things lost the time, and that had to survive.
and then I had the joke when I did the Gaming Zone podcast about the episode was sponsored by Pepsi Blue or Mountain Dew, whatever Mountain Dew flavor.
I thought it was Dr. Pepper.
Maybe it was Dr. Pepper. And then Logan went on a rant about our Mountain Dew game fuel, and Silver in the corner is like, "I hate this stream now. I hate it."
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Silver refers to Dr. Pepper as cough syrup.
Yes, this is true, and actually, that's another highlight.
Carbonated cough syrup.
Torturing the shit out of Silver about hating Dr. Pepper.
It's bourbon.
Yeah, I
Right.
made like a graphic, and I would constantly Photoshop new drinks that he would hate, like Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, G Fuel, Pepsi Blue, all that.
But
I mean, it's barbecue Sprite. We all know that.
And then one more inside joke, but this is between me and Steven. He pestered me, I don't know how many days or weeks, for me to play Undertale on stream until I played Undertale during the month of October. And I haven't gotten back since, but I promise, Steve, I will play Undertale. Maybe Deltarune. Maybe Silksong.
Coming October 2025.
Oh, yeah, there. Well, I probably would be, but if Pokemon Legends ZA wasn't coming out, I probably would be playing Undertale. But I'm probably just gonna play Undertale in my personal time, just like what I did with the original Metal Gear Solid on my Switch too. But that's about it.
All right, Silver. I already know what you're gonna say.
Oh,
Nothing
what?
apparent.
Nothing.
Just because I invented the Jujutsu Kaisen joke, you think I'm gonna say it straight up, as if that's the first thing I'm gonna say? I like to high five you in the face with a brick.
That's an old one.
Because fuck you, I'm Spider-Man.
Exactly.
The OG meme of Toonami Squad.
The
Yes.
OG meme. That's what I'm gonna open up.
And he's bricked the shit out of me at the very beginning of Toonami Squad.
And every time the brick would either get bigger or you think I ran out? I just moved to Chicago. All the buildings are made of bricks.
And then he made a spirit brick.
A spirit brick. And I think he made like a pass for a one no bricking.
Yes. Oh yeah,
Yes.
I remember the bricking. That's right.
Oh, I miss those days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know something? Another thing that I want to mention too, that I appreciate. Silver, your wide variety of memes are incredible. I just want to say, this guy Silver has had so many good meme responses over the years in our group chat. Some
That's a valid
iconic
point.
memes, like the crying dolphin, or the loud dog that's like, "I have spoken." But
Oh,
No, his
the crying dolphin to me is one of those iconic memes. I'm like,
No,
that's
his
perfect
current one is every time he's in charge, he's got to be King Bugs Bunny.
How dare you? I am king. It's just that I'm no longer the king. There are 3 kings now. I still have the power to act like royalty. I just need permission.
Anything else you want to say?
Ooh, what are the other ones? Let's see. We went the I have spoken with the brick. Jujutsu Kaisen is not a Toonami's low hanging fruit, but it's still true.
Yeah.
Shoot, I think I'm forgetting one.
One thing I remember was your alter ego Smoking Tails.
Smoking Tails. That's right. where every time I would post him, it would just be like the rudest thing I could think of. Shut up, you piece of shit.
What about remember potato wedges?
I miss potato wedges. Basically, someone would post potato wedges, and I would just like, "Damn you! Why you gotta hurt me?"
What about the scared boy with the cross?
That's every time something horrific on Made in Abyss popped up.
Yeah.
That was too much for me. That was just be my immediate response. Just like, keep it away. No more.
I liked how I made like that one birthday graphic for you, and I decided to Photoshop what's his name on there, like Bondrew, like the guy that gives so many Made in Abyss fans PTSD. It's just
And
a shame.
I hate you for it, but I respect it. I respect the good meme, but I hate you for it.
All right.
And of course, the current Holy Grail, Jujutsu Kaisen, is never airing on Toonami. Come on, Sam. You knew I had to eventually say it. Even if I have sprinkled it around the entire time it's been my turn.
Yeah, and just for that, I got the perfect response.
Yeah, the master of aspect ratio. The master of aspect ratio.
Oh my god!
He just sent me that, like right now. Like he just sent me that. All right, so moving on.
You know what? I respect it. I respect that
one. So moving on, Steve comes in with another answer. Where'd I put the file? Hold on. Is it defaulted back to the? This is 7. Here we go.
Sam, you're gonna kill me, and I don't apologize in advance. I apologize for absolutely nothing in advance. I'm going with the inside joke that we have in the server, the long-running one we've had over the years. Just the setups for it have gotten even funnier and even more creative. Like, it's such a good running gag in the server. I know it's to the expense of your pain, but I have to go with it. It's the JJK will never come to Toonami bit. It has to. I'm sorry, Sam. No, I'm not.
That's Steve's answer.
I love that he kept stretching it, just dragging it out because you know it's coming. But like apologizing the entire way.
So
I'm gonna take
like,
away that apology.
so like, since it's my turn anyway, I'll give context. So like, I mentioned before that when I become a fan of something, and I'll admit this, when I get a new when I'm a new fan, it becomes a hyperfixation for me. And I came across Jujutsu Kaisen in like 2020 or 2021, and
And you were
I really loved the
insufferable
show a
with it.
lot. It was I loved the show a lot, and I really wanted it on Toonami. This was pre Sony buyout era, like just before it. But so I just kept tweeting out, I want Jujutsu Kaisen on Toonami. Give me Jujutsu Kaisen on Toonami. And then Sony bought Crunchyroll, and that dream died. And I think and now, yeah, it's become the joke, but it's also like, and now it's also just kind of sad that like JJK is a great show, but now has become unfortunately a toxic fan base because people need to constantly like find the next big hit and fucking ruin it. And if I'm being real too, because I read the manga, not really great ending anyway. But yeah, it doesn't matter because this has essentially become my identity. I still want it on Toonami, but fuck you, Crunchyroll.
But you'll never get it.
You'll never get it.
Fucking Adult Swim Latin America gets it.
Can I just mention just for 1 minute the reason, another reason why the joke was born is simply because, just like how you mentioned that you become hyper fixated on something you love. Well, you eventually reached the point where you got so annoying with Jujutsu Kaisen that the joke was born simply to piss you off about it because you ruined it for everyone else. And I freaking love that the manga ends. The last page is a literal middle finger to everyone who reached the end.
Not anymore, because we got a spin-off and that takes place in the future.
Who fucking cares, man? The last page of the original manga is flipping everyone off. And that is a perfect ending to the entire joke.
Yeah, so aside from that obvious one, another one was the Eric edited out. Yeah, that was amazing. And this one I always will remember to this day. Joshua predicting Pop Team Epic Season 2 a whole 4 years ahead of its actual release, because every episode of Pop Team Epic ended with a fake idol show, and they were like in the last episode of season 1, oh, the fake idol show is getting a season 2, and I'm like, oh guys, look, we got season 2, and Joshua was like, oh my god, we got to report this right now, and he literally like posted on our Twitter, which we had to delete. Breaking news: Pop Team Epic is renewed for season 2, and then we all literally had to be like, no, that's not what's happening. That was just a joke in the show, so take that down. And then 4 years later, the show actually gets a second season, and we all were just like, guys, Joshua predicted it this whole time. He saw it. He saw the future. And another one. Now this is a low key one, but there was a brief time to where I was doing live tweets on the account, and God, I wish Sam was here because he would have bawled. But I was tweeting Made in Abyss, and they did not like when I tweeted Made in Abyss because I said, and I quote, "What is that hellspawn doing to Rico?" and I was talking about MIDI, and they hate and they crucified me for putting MIDI slander on the official account, and I think they took away my tweeting privileges because of that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I think that's about it from me. Now Gio and Daniel do not have answers to this, so I'm just gonna hand it off to Logan.
So
oh yeah, let me get that up. I forgot. I got it right.
Yeah.
Here.
So we have a channel in our Discord that's it's called the Starboard, and it's basically like if people like enough, you get enough reactions, it like ends up saved.
I got it right here. Just let me know when you want it up.
Yeah, and a lot of times like somebody will just make an innocuous joke, and like for example, my avatar in here right now is kind of an ongoing joke where after the stuff about Uzumaki, and I may have even created it before that, I think. But after the stuff about Uzumaki and like, oh, the plans changed and this and that happened, and so I made a joke about Jason being like Darth Vader with the whole like I've altered the deal, pray that I don't alter it again, and so I photoshopped him into Darth Vader, and so that kind of became an on-running joke. And there's another one that anytime something comes up with Crunchyroll, we tend to put this up, which Sam will probably pull up in just a moment.
Yes, here you go.
Crunchyroll.
We get a lot of mileage out of this image.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually just little little shit posty images and stuff like that. The other one that I like, or just the off the cuff things that come to us, like when we're doing a podcast. Like if anybody listened to the last episode of the podcast, when I pointed out that it's too bad that Rooster Fighter is not ready to air, because it would be perfect to air it alongside Don to Don, because then we could have the Cock and Balls Hour.
Technically, season 2, if we get
season 2 could
next
still
year.
it's little just off the cuff stuff like that, and it's all good fun, and it's just funny shit.
I am so down for the Cock and Balls Hour.
Right?
Please
Totally
put
down for that.
like when Rooster Fighter comes, Rooster Fighter at 12, and Dawn to Dawn season 2 at 12:30. Please.
Yeah, like it'd be perfect. Like
Let's do it.
the advertising, it writes itself. Like, come on.
It's the Cock and Balls Hour. Only
Oh,
$2.
Also, Logan, thank you for finding that image that you found from that time I went to Disney Springs.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was the thing, was I realized it was on the Starboard on Discord. I was like, I know we starred that one because it was a JJK joke.
All right. So next up, we're almost there. We got our second to last, and I'm gonna bring in one lightning question after this. What's your opinion on the current state of the block, Joshua? We leave it at you.
I don't know if I can answer because I really haven't been watching Toonami lately in a while, so I don't. I mean, I know the new shows that but beyond that, I don't know if I can say much. Sounds like they're finally getting some good shows, because I know for a while they were kind of in a stalemate and nothing's happening. So, I mean, I guess that's about as much as I can say about that.
All right. Eric, how do you feel? What's your opinion on the current state of the block? I know you're pretty excited with Dawn to Dawn being there.
I am very excited for Don being there. Yes. So I would say the current state of it, it's I think the lineup is pretty good now. I kind of echo Boss's sentiment where I kind of feel like the last couple of years have kind of been pretty rough in like shows that kind of keeping my engagement. I will say they've kind of been like hit or miss. The last couple shows that came on, like the last one by the Cowboy Bebop guys, it was okay. It kind of engaged me, but I thought it was fine. But it didn't like hook me, like let's say like a show like Don to Don.
At least you're more fair on it than Anime News Network was.
I try. But no, I would say like currently the lineup is pretty good now with Dragon Ball Daima, even though I haven't finished it and I kind of fell off from it from the sub, but that's why it being on Toonami is kind of perfect for me because now I can kind of watch it and watch it on Toonami. Don being there, I think is awesome, and I hope that's a show that I hope DeMarco and the crew will continually bring back because I've been reading the manga for Don to Don and it's amazing. It's one of the best animes I've seen in a long, long time. And I think I mentioned it earlier, and I even mentioned it in a tweet yesterday during it. But like, the animation and the characters are so well done in both the manga and the show. For like, I feel like the show has no right to be like that high quality of animation, but it's up there and it's phenomenal. And it's just, and I'm excited to what they adapt from the manga as it continues to go, and I hope it just keeps going. Um, Dragon Ball Daima, Don Don, and even Bleach. Now, back in the day when Toonami first came back, I was kind of a Bleach hater. I'm not gonna lie. I make fun of Bleach, but I respectfully make fun of Bleach. I'll put it like that. And so when Bleach finally came back again for the Final Wars arc, uh, or the Blood War arc, I was pretty pumped for it. As much as I make fun of it, I'm at the point now where it's like I'm past the hate boner part, and I kind of appreciate Bleach a hell of a lot more than I used to, and I'm happy about that. So having those three shows at the very least is very good for me, and with those three kind of holding down the fort, along with Naruto and One Piece at the end.
Rest
I
in
think
peace, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, rest in peace, Sailor Moon. I was happy that they brought that back, though.
Rest in peace, Toonami Rewind.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. I kind of wish that kind of turned into a thing, but ratings. I assume it wasn't probably as popular as they wanted it to be. Really, like to me, like the weakest one, I think is a Blue Exorcist. That's kind of smacked in the middle between all that, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm not the biggest fan of Blue Exorcist personally, but I know a lot of people like it and all. But I am optimistic where things are going in the future for now, because I was kind of thinking that Danadon may fall under the Juju Kaisen joke. Unfortunately, I wasn't as annoying about it. Damn. I'm kidding. But I was kind of worried that wasn't going to show up, and I thought that would be like a perfect Toonami show. But now that it's on there, I'm like, yes, and so that they were able to snag that up, I'm pretty optimistic, because I'm hoping they get more shows like Don to Don in the future.
All right. Phantom, how are you feeling the current state of the block?
I'm echoing Eric. I'm currently happy with what they're doing with the block now, especially now that we got shows like Dawn to Dawn, Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War, which now I can actually watch season 2 on Toonami now, since I think we went through the first season, and this was the first time watching it or season 2 on Toonami. But yeah, last year was just kind of meh at most, especially with all the misses with the likes of I can't say Uzumaki as much, but that's a production issue. Rick and Morty the anime, and then Ninja Kamui. Get your CGI mechs out.
2 more seasons on the way.
Fuck you. But I just hope they get more shows, and I just hope we get season 2 of Dawn to Dawn next year, so we can all experience the Hayashi in its full glory. If there's no right issues, that is.
Hopefully.
Actually, can I mention one other thing too, though? Before moving on to the next person, sorry. A thing that I do want to mention, though, I hope Toonami does in the future too. I kind of feel like the kind of the extra content where either be I like the video game reviews they've been doing, but I kind of want them to do a little more either music videos or like the AMV or speeches.
I mean, we got like a video recently, like when they rebranded.
It's just I've been noticing that like that kind of content on their end has been kind of not, I wouldn't say hit or miss, but it's been, I feel like they haven't been doing it as much in the last like couple of years, and I kind of want them to kind of bring that back a little bit.
Sadly, Jason actually explained it, and it's
Oh, really?
but yeah, sadly, the Japanese side of the industry has gotten a lot more strict when it comes to how to use show footage.
Really?
and,
Mm.
and so stuff like the old music videos, the better
Lineup
cartoon show, the
promos.
speeches, it's just become a lot harder to do because a lot of the Japanese licensors, they're a lot more strict on how you can use the footage.
Wow.
Some of them
Okay.
want to actually know how you're gonna cut the promo, and that's why a lot of shows apparently haven't come to the block because, well, they've okay, so they can't go to the American side, so they go directly to the Japanese side, and apparently, well, a lot of the Japanese companies hesitate when it comes to licensing their shows directly to an
Mm.
American TV broadcast. And if they do, they want a lot more control over how said show is used, aired, cut for commercials, or
Jesus.
anything. And
Mm.
so
Yeah.
that's been part of the obstacle of one, why Toonami has had even more difficulty getting new shows, and also more difficulty on how to actually get more music videos, get better cartoon show promos. Like it's yes, they are strapped for manpower and time, but it's just a sad reality that it right now in this day and age, the Japanese side is a lot more strict on how the material of said shows is used, and sadly, Toonami really can't do much with that. Like, hell,
Yeah.
No,
Jason
trust
even
me.
said that. Jason even said that the reason why they can air Bleach right now is
Mhm.
because the the licensor said, "Okay, you can have it now." That's literally it. It
Wow.
wasn't hold up by. It wasn't a huge legal holdup. It's just they asked, said no, asked again, said no, asked again, said no, and eventually they said, "Yeah, okay, you can air it."
Gotcha.
And so yeah, like I
I
want
want
more
to.
speeches, I want more music videos, but there's just a lot more obstacles, sadly.
Fair enough.
I,
That's me.
I just want to speak on that for a second. That happened regarding the Toonami music video, Attack on Titan music video that Toonami had done. We had actually got a copyright takedown on the YouTube channel. However, Toonami was able to get that removed, but only on the condition we delete the video from the channel.
Mm.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
All right.
Yeah.
So Silver, how do you feel on the current state of the block?
It is the U-turn is amazing. I feel like the last few years have been like a battle in Dragon Ball Z where Goku has been beaten down to a pulp. He's barely on his legs, and then out of nowhere he gets a power up. He starts fighting back, and he's back in the game. I feel like that's what Toonami has been going through lately. I want to say I'm optimistic, but I'm also trying to keep my expectations in check. I think the block is in a solid place right now, but I don't know for how long they can maintain that solid place because of Crunchyroll dominating, because so many other big streamers have gotten into the game, and because the Japanese side is a lot more strict licensing the shows directly
Mhm.
to Toonami. Um, I I do think that the path forward does include Toonami having original shows. I just don't think it is solely depending on the original shows. Like,
Yeah.
they can be a companion piece, but they can't be the highlight unless it's something really solid, like genuinely solid. But they, with the varying levels of quality they've had throughout the years on originals, the fact that IGPX is still their best original in that era in the Cartoon Network days, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do think Toonami originals are important to like ensure that they do keep like a certain flow of shows that no one else has.
Yeah.
But sadly, that can't be they can't be the highlight. You can't bank it all on a few, let's say 3, maybe 2 original shows a year. So they're gonna have to strategize a bit more on how to run certain shows. I know rerunning isn't cheap. It's cheaper than airing
I was gonna say it's cheaper.
reruns of Family Guy, but they're not cheap. So I think we're in a solid spot. And I think that we're gonna be fine for the rest of the year. They just like the real challenge is gonna be maintaining that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the best lineup in the world.
No.
It doesn't have to be an all-star lineup. It just has to be at least interesting. You can have a few solid good shows, an original that it may not be the best thing, but it's interesting at least to see what it is.
Agreed. Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be the newest thing. I think we've already established that this lineup, it's solid, but none of it is actually like genuinely new. I think the newest thing is Don Da Don, and I'm honestly fine with that. Again, it just needs to be solid shows, and you're at the getting solid shows is a lot harder these days. But as long as they can maintain a balance of that, I think we'll be fine. I just don't know. Basically, I think they're fine this year. I don't know about next year. But I'll keep enjoying the ride.
Yep.
As long as Ninja Kamui isn't back. Or Rick and Morty the anime.
We at least know that they have hot fresh cock coming next year.
Definitely. We're safe on that part.
All right. So next one is our good pal Steve once again. And let me pull that up. Where'd I put it? Here it is. There we go.
The current state of the block. I mean, I said on the Year in Review podcast that what's there to be excited about, and boy, they proved me wrong. I mean, middle of the year, I said, yeah, they proved me wrong on all facets. You know, they're getting acquisitions again. I mean, we got Don Da Don on Toonami. Never thought that would happen. Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War. Didn't think that would happen. We all thought that was dead in the water. So maybe, just maybe, things are finally starting to look up for Toonami. I hope. We'll see.
Thank you, Steve, for that answer. So my turn. Honestly, I was at a very low point going into the end of 2024, just because we had Ninja Kamui and then Uzumaki, which killed my hype for the originals, and I was just so mad. And then we had Rick and Morty, and then I was just maybe thinking because we ended up getting Blue Exorcist and Mashal in the block, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe we can start next year pretty good. And then the schedule update for like freaking January was like, oh, here's just reruns of Invincible Fight Girl and Blue Exorcist doubled up. Oh, we didn't get all of DBZ Kai, so here's a rerun. Oh, actually, we're gonna make a double One Piece, and this stuff. What's going on? Oh, we're gonna add common side effects, and it's just like I was just like sour for a good chunk of the year, and then we were expecting like a news update because I think common side effects was coming to an end, and Blue Exorcist like season 1. And we're like, all right, guys, what are we expecting today? Are we going to get another double One Piece? Are we going to get some triple One Piece up in here? Maybe like another Primal rerun, because good Lord knows we need another one of those. And then fucking Bleach and Blue Exorcist season 2. And I'm like, holy shit, wait, what? What? We got something good? And then it's funny because at the time at that podcast, I was like, well, this is probably going to be like the biggest high we were going to ride this year. And then they announced Dragon Ball Daima. And I was just like, wait, you mean Crunchyroll couldn't take this away from us? Oh my God. Holy shit, we finally got Daima. Better late than never. And then I'm like, okay, that's probably going to be it. And then fucking Dawn. I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit, like I was literally saying, like, how the hell did we go from it's so over at the start of the year to like we're so back? Like we've never been so back before.
We are so brack.
But like I'm also trying to keep my expectations in check, because it's not like, oh, I don't want to say like we're gonna start grabbing the hottest stuff again, because I mean all the points Silver said. But like I was just like, I'm not one to say, oh, Toonami's dead and all that, but there was a point to where it's like me tuning into the block felt more like a chore just to record stuff than it was actually tuning in to, watch it. And then now, like, that I 180 that now. And my only hope is that, okay, if the originals are here to stay, fine, but please, for the love of God, do a better job, because Uzumaki, looking back on it, Uzumaki, it's a fine show, a fine adaptation, but I think what hurt me was that this was coming off Ninja Kamui and fucking Rick and Morty, and I was just at an all-time low. Like, these originals suck. I'm fucking done with these. It's like there's nothing to be excited about. And Lazarus, it's a good show. It has issues, but it's actually, I consider it the second best original next to IGPX.
Yes.
And hopefully Rooster Fighter can actually, deliver. Like, I actually got to see a sneak peek of it at Anime Expo, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, that's really how I feel in regards to the current state of the block. So our next one is.
Hold on, I want to say something real quick. So what you're saying is Toonami hasn't been this back since 2012?
Maybe actually, because when they came back in 2012, they weren't like,
Toonami
the
stuff that they had. 2012.
No, yeah, but also like their lineup wasn't the most stellar either. So that's actually a good point. So anyway, next person is Gio, and he writes, I'm always happy to see relevant series brought back to the block, but my heart will always enjoy the 2014 to the 2019 era. And that's all he had to say on that. Yeah. And Logan, we bring it to you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely better than it's been in a good bit. If you want to put up that image.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
As an example of the shit posting photoshops, I literally photoshopped this while everybody else was discussing their thoughts on the status of the block. Like, so, like that's the thing.
Is everyone looking?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Like things were so dire for a while there that it was like I don't know how the block managed to survive to this point, but it's I mean, we all said it during for those of us that were on the year in review, like Steve said in his bit, we were all convinced that like it was just more of the same, disappointing. Nothing's happening, and there's a lot that could really still be done to improve the block that's out of Adult Swim's control. Crunchyroll are still stupid bastards for withholding the shows from the block that they are,
and yet they continue to lose money.
Yeah, because the thing is, it just serves as more advertising for their platform. And we're watching them lay people off. It's like, wait a minute, you're laying people off. Wouldn't you want an influx of money, even if it's not much? Licensing a show or two out to Adult Swim to air puts eyes on your block. The odds are good that Adult Swim would probably go, yeah, we'll air a Crunchyroll ad, during the ad break, along with with licensing these shows, like free advertising for your platform, basically, and Adult Swim's going to pay you to run these shows. Why wouldn't you do it? It's great to see that Adult Swim's still been making moves despite that. And while I agree that they can't just lean on on a couple of originals every year, this year has at least shown that they know that, and they're trying to do stuff. And thankfully, they're able to do that and run around Crunchyroll and negotiate with some of these studios directly. So it's taken time, but I'm happy to see that they've been able to pull things back from the brink because of how dire it was. So I think things are looking good, but they need to keep this momentum up, because if they slip back to where they were last year and the year before, there's probably not going to be a lot of gas left in the tank.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is cool. The truck is working again. Keep it working, please.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can tell like they are trying to like kind of settle in. I guess that's the way to describe it, but it's like it feels like we went through extremes. Like we were scraping on the floor and suddenly we're back in a mountain. Like we can't go straight nosedive from the top of the mountain. Like we can go down, but don't just crash into the ground. So yeah.
All right. So real quick before our last question, I'm gonna give a quick lightning question, thank courtesy of Joshua. One word to describe the squad. Joshua, what do you have to say to that?
Honestly, family. And don't do the damn Vin Diesel meme.
You don't turn your back on family. Eric, what's your answer to this?
Oh man. One word to describe the squad. Fucking boss pretty much stole it. that was a good one. The other word that kind of came to me were like bangers.
All right. Phantom, what's your answer to this?
Sorry, I was switching over to my phone since I'm currently walking my dogs. Can you repeat the question?
One word to describe the squad.
One word to describe the squad. Terrific.
Thank you.
Because we are goddamn Mr. Terrific.
All right. Silver, what's your answer to this?
Chaos.
Yes.
A good kind of chaos, but chaos.
All right. Mine would be hell. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
It can't be hell. You live in Florida.
That's true. So I probably would say so I don't know if this counts life changing. I was trying to think of a
It's hyphenated.
singular.
It counts.
Hyphen. Okay, yeah, life changing. There we go. That's my word. And Logan, what's your one word answer?
Hilarious. Y'all are some funny motherfuckers.
And with that, we move on to our final question of the night. We went on long. Last question. How do you feel that this group has been around for 10 years? And what do you say regarding the future? Joshua, we leave it at you.
Pretty amazed that we're still here after this long, and I hope we're still here many more years later. As long as Toonami's still around, I'm grateful for all the memories. We had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hardships, a lot of good times. A lot has happened in the last 10 years. It's hard to put in a few words to describe it all, but I'm glad we're here, and glad to know all of you. And I guess
Thank
that's it.
you. Eric, what do you have to say?
Yeah. Again, I'll echo what Boss said for the most part, but yeah, you know, I would say that it's been an amazing ride with the few instances where I do show up with it. Um, I will say I hope we keep continuing to do it and contributing to it any way I can. And I'll say hopefully we can all meet up together, probably meet each other, everybody, squad, maybe for the first time, hopefully within the next 10 years or so, because hopefully we'll be doing it for another 10 years.
Yeah, Sam had to step away for a minute, so that was Phantom up next. Also, Bob.
Which, I'm sorry you broke up.
Your mic is like feeding back some wind or something.
Oh,
Yeah, are you in a wind tunnel?
No, it's just windy outside.
So that's a yes.
That does sound like
There's
a yes.
wind. There's no tunnel for the wind tunnel. It's just wind.
So, since Sam Chu's not here, it means the podcast can't end, which means we can do it for another 7 hours, 10 hours total, an hour for each year.
I mean, I would attempt to do it if I had the controls to do it, which I do not. But everyone go. I think Logan still needs to go.
Yeah,
right?
no, I think Phantom's up next.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
up
right.
next. I'm just waiting until we're done joking around.
So never?
So never. No, I'm gonna go with the response I told my brother when I was at Epic Universe. I basically, dude, I've been doing this shit for 10 years. And I hope as long as as long as Toonami continues, so will we. I mean, I have personally seen like our ups and downs. We made friends, lost friends for just you know the passing of life and whatnot, or some ridiculous bullshits. We made our bit. We met amazing people. I enjoy the people that I'm with right now. I'm really trying not to get emotional as much, but I really enjoy doing Toonami Squad, and I don't think I'm gonna leave anytime soon. As long as we're still doing all this. I'm repeating myself, but I'm just satisfied with what we're doing right now.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, I
Also,
kind of have a
edit it
loose.
out.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying, Eric, edit that out.
No, it's all staying
I
in.
think that puts it to you now.
To me,
Yes. So, what's it? How do you feel about the group being around for 10 years, and what do you say about its future?
10 years. To be honest, I didn't really process the fact that we were celebrating, that we were going to get that far till like late last year. Like, I think it was in November where I realized, oh, shoot. We're actually going to reach 10 years? What? It's just like, I never really, I've never really like been a part of a thing for that long or worked on anything for that long.
It is kind of surreal.
It like for Constance, like I never even lasted in school for like 6 years straight. Or at least, well, not the same school 6 years straight. So the fact that we even got to that point is still mind blowing. I'm proud of what we've been able to do for 10 years, for everything we've made, for everything we've edited, designed, written, posted, recorded. The fact that the fact that we've kept it going for so long. I think it'll take me. We're past the halfway point of 2025, and I still haven't processed it. So yeah, as for now and beyond, I don't know how long we can keep it going, but as long as we want to keep at it, we'll keep going. We'll keep running until we decide we've done enough. Or if Toonami just says goodbye again. Whichever comes first. Yeah. We don't got big plans. We're not gonna launch crypto. We're not gonna make a headquarters or go to the moon, but
The squad cryptocurrency.
God, I can't even. I would like at that point I just quit.
I mean, Silver, you did send us a bunch of coins.
Yeah.
That's different. That's different. That's to celebrate,
You kind of walked into that.
not to monetize.
You sent us a bunch of coins. What? Are you lying, Silver? Did you set up a
That's
squad?
different.
crypto and it's
That's
all for yourself?
different. Stop it. That's different.
I did want to say one thing, kind of.
Go for it.
Well, with all the highlights and stuff we talked about, we did, and everything that's happened through the years, with Toonami and everything, there is one thing that was probably the hardest thing we ever, had to report, and that was the unfortunate passing of Clay Martin Croker, the original first host of Toonami, the voice of Motor.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be 9 years since his passing on the 17th.
Jeez.
And when they aired that tribute during the Toonami intro, Man, that hit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Well, so Sam is still out, so I can't play the Steve video until he gets back to do that, and then he would be up after that, followed by Bill's stuff, which Sam has all of that. So I guess I'll go in the meantime.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, I haven't been with the squad for the full 10 years by any means, but you know, I mean, it's one of those things that it's like when you get a passionate group of people together that are good at what they do, the you know, everything just falls into place, and it's just easy to do your thing. And I mean, that's, you know, that's what we have, and you know, at the end of the day, that's what keeps it easy to keep things going. And you know, we have people who step up to the plate when they're needed, and you know, and it's just, like I said, it's just a good group of people that are good at what they do. You know, as long as, I mean, people have already said it, as long as Toonami keeps on going, I don't see the squad going anywhere. Will it, you know, will people move on? Will we get new blood? Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. It's happened before. It's going to happen again at some point. But, you know, I mean, even then, you know, when we don't hear from some people for a long time, with very few exceptions, we're still in some amount of contact with most of the people that have come before that aren't, you know, actively part of the group anymore. You know, and those who we don't, you know, they've moved on in their lives, and that's their thing, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, at the end of the day, even if Toonami, you know, tomorrow they were like, oh, we're ending the block again, this is it, it's over. You know, I don't think that this group as a whole would just up and vanish, you know, at all. You know, I mean, fan sites kept the love for Toonami alive in the, you know, the dark ages between the Cartoon Network cancellation and the Adult Swim revival. And yeah, it was only a few years. I mean, you know, you think about the fact that the Adult Swim incarnation is now the longest running version of it, you know, beating out the Cartoon Network version. And I don't know the exact math, but I want to say if it hasn't passed it, it may be getting close to having been on Adult Swim as long as the Cartoon Network era plus the cancellation era. So, you know, like I said, would the group take a different form? Yes, I think they would. I don't think that we would, you know, the Toonami squad as a whole would just come to an end. You know, I mean, there's too much that would be able to, you know, keep things going. I mean, just taking Sam One's articles, you know, when he does his throwback articles to, you know, earlier Toonami shows, or even reviewing shows that aren't on, you know, that never were on Toonami, but instead were, you know, related to a show that is coming to Toonami or airing on Toonami or whatever, you know, be it the production staff, the animation studio, whatever. You know, there's just so much that could be done with the, you know, the rich history and lore of Toonami, that even if it's not producing anything new, I think there's still a place for fan sites like ours to, you know, to still keep doing things. So, yeah, I mean, you know, and the fact is, you know, despite, you know, the years where the block has recently been down, like we said, things are looking up. So I don't see the block going anywhere, and so I don't see us changing what we're doing anytime soon. You know, it just, you don't mess with what works, and I think what we have works. So
way to make me feel more optimistic about things, Logan. Wow.
Somehow.
To answer Logan's question, Toonami's been for the total of the Adult Swim run plus the cancellation years, it's been 13 and a half years. So May of 2026 would be 14 years, and it would have been on the same amount at that point.
So we're basically just at the matching point. So as soon as it clears that, then as long as it makes it into 2027, then the Adult Swim era will have it beat. You we already beat Cartoon Network. Now we just have to beat the Cartoon Network plus cancellation era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uncharted waters there.
Yeah, I'm back, by the way. So real quick.
So yeah, we agreed that we're going to do the podcast for a full 10 hours.
No, we're good.
Hours each year.
So next I have Steve's answer to our final question. Let me get that going.
Man, 10 years. Can you believe it? We've been doing this for 10 years. Granted, I joined a little later on, but it's still an unbelievable accomplishment that we've been covering the Better Cartoon Show for 10 years. It really is unbelievable. It really is. And regarding the future, I hope we can keep this going. I really can. And I hope we get better as a fan site, be able to really reach out to more people. And yeah, I love being here and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Thank you, Steve, for that answer. Now, for my answer, good Lord, it's been that long. Well, I may have not been here for, all those 10 years, but it's just kind of crazy how, like, this has, I don't want to say it's shaped my life because, doing other things, but well, kind of, because, like, I like, like, if it wasn't even for Toonami, I probably wouldn't even be, like, all into, like, graphic designing and all that stuff, and, just then me coming on here. So it's just kind sorry. Just kind of, sorry, just really crazy to think about. The fact that of how long we've been doing this, how long that like I've even been like on this, and just like the ability to just meet amazing people, talk with amazing people, getting to do crazy things like Anime Expo. And yeah, I would not change this at all. And in regards to the future, I'm just like, if Toonami, keeps trucking along, then I'm here for the ride. And I'll keep doing it for as long as I can. Like just like being a part and also doing the archiving and all that. I've been also branching out like the podcasting, and I even wrote an article, which will come out eventually. But yeah,
Sorry, that's on me.
And yeah, it's just like yet again, congrats to us for going on this long, and yeah, like I wouldn't change it for the world. So I got 2 written responses. First is Bill or Geo. He says, I've grown with most of the squad members and have made some great memories. I simply can't express enough gratitude for the team, for the entire experience. Optimistically, as long as Toonami's around, there will always be faithful, like always be the faithful. Realistically, I hope Toonami sticks around. That was Gio's answer. And then I have Daniel's answer. Daniel says, holy crap. I completely because I forgot to mention Daniel's answer to the state of the block. So I'll read both of these. So for the state of the block, Daniel says, I mentioned this in an article I made not too long ago, but given the upheaval with Warner Bros. And Discovery, Crunchyroll trying to monopolize the anime market and run Toonami out of business, and how much of a mess streaming services and the television market is overall, I think it's safe to say that we are unfortunately in another dark age and bubble for the anime industry. As for Toonami itself, in short, what they need to do right now is weather a storm. We've been through this before during the late 2000s anime bubble burst and Toonami's cancellation period, and somehow we got out of that better than ever. Warner Bros. And Discovery still seems committed to the Toonami experiment, unlike during the CN Real days. So as long as WBD remains committed and gets their act together, I think the block and the network as a whole can rebound, or Crunchyroll or Cartoon Network will just get sold to Sony, and Toonami will be renamed Crunchyroll TV or something like that. And for the last question on us as us as a group. And he says, think what surprises me the most about this group is that people like us, while Squad isn't as big as an outlet as, say, Anime News Network or a YouTube content creator, thankful to all those who have read and helped with the Toonami trending rundown in my articles and work with Toonami Squad and previously ToonamiFaithful.com. Here's to many more years of Toonami Squad and Toonami to come. Also, feel like we could do a bit more in regards to releasing content, such as posting more news and other content about Toonami, past, present, future, Toonami shows on the website, and such. Also, I think we could use more writers.
I
And-
really feel for him on that last one because it's true. But I think that we're in a weird position where, well, back in 2012, you could probably get a few people who are really enthusiastic about Toonami and write stuff, but in 2025, if we do try to get someone, they'll ask, "So, how much am I getting paid?" And like, I wish I got paid for this, but this is a love project, and that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's below nonprofit.
But yeah, so
At a passion
this
love ultimately, and that's kind of the sacrifice. Well, I mean, for me, that's why I joined on. Because even back then, like when I was pretty much like I was recording everything, editing everything, and hosting the podcast and all that. On occasion, I would help with the thumbnail stuff for like articles and things. Yeah, and not saying that I didn't want, not saying that expected to get paid, but I basically did it out of love and passion, and that's why I still come on, even though I'm not as active as I used to be. But ultimately, that's kind of has to be the discrepancy of that. If you want to do this, it's a passion project basically. Maybe do something to kind of get some stuff under your belt, whether it's like practice or whatever. But it's definitely not a pay gig, ultimately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like everything I've done has been a labor of love.
Same here.
If anything, I do sometimes think I shot myself in the foot because a lot of the things that ended up becoming, like, I guess the best way to describe it is tradition, is that, okay, with very few exceptions, almost everything that has become the norm, like marathon graphics, show rebrands for special nights, finales, all that. The sole reason they exist is me going, I'm bored, I'm gonna do something. It's literally, and then eventually I just kept doing it for so many times that they just became expected. And so now I do sometimes feel like, shit, I just dug myself into a deeper hole.
If you want to
because now if there's a marathon, there has to be marathon songs. If there's a movie night, you have to do something special for it. If there's a finale, you have to make something for the finale.
Except for Dr. Stone. We've always neglected that for some reason, and I feel bad.
I feel bad because that's sadly been a casualty where
and we might never be able to give it one, considering we haven't gotten it back.
Yeah, like first season didn't get a finale graphic because back then we just didn't. When the first season ended, we just didn't do that.
Yeah.
And second season didn't happen. because frankly, I didn't have any ideas for it. Like there is, I did end up making something, but the end product looks ugly. And if even I think this sucks, I'm not gonna send it. So it's my hope is that we at least get the third season.
Just to use it.
No, just to redeem myself, just to like
Oh,
make
gotcha.
sure Doctor Stone gets something. Cause it's kind of sad that it's that one show that, even though it's been on multiple times, never it never got the treatment.
I mean, I gave it some marathon thumbs when we had that one marathon, but that was it.
Yeah, but you did that. I haven't. I want to give it something.
But yeah,
This is
so
what we mean by passion, guys.
yeah, you want to talk about passion,
but I want to do it.
Yeah, you want to talk about passion. Look at how long this has been going on.
Yeah, true.
I think we might be breaking our record here.
We have broken
yes,
a
we are.
record, and this brings us. This brings us to our conclusion. And I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to leave it as is, the way it is, because editing this would be a nightmare. But
we'll break the record again in at the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go.
So
double the length.
4 or 5 hour podcast.
So
featuring Dante from Devil May Cry.
With new funky mode.
So, real quick in conclusions, we just once again want to thank everyone who's tuned in and all who's listened to us for almost 4 hours. Jesus Christ! Just reminisce about the past 10 years, and all the fun shit that's come along with it. Thank Sam and Andre who were on here briefly. Andre, we could have done without your Akane feet take, but you do you.
Hey, you know what? I respect it. I don't get it, but I respect it.
The podcast would not be complete without it, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But like, so I guess at this point we start plugging, and really briefly, going back to our topic of things that we're proud of. I mean, I didn't bring this up because this wasn't Toonami Squad, but my tier list, which was fucking hell to make, and I'm glad it's out. Please watch it. That took a lot of work. And recently, when Toonami did its rebrand, I challenged myself and I made a motion, like an animation, to use as my intro for the bumpers, like for the bumper compilations, which I did that completely on my own. I mean, I had a bit of consulting, but that was all done by me by scratch, and I feel very proud of that. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at Samster299, Blue Sky Samster299, my YouTube where I do Toonami archiving, and watch the tier list. Also, I have something else coming, and I'll say it right now because why not? Because the show is almost over. I plan on getting on talking with Steve, it's the other Sam, and Sketch about 2B Hero X. It's a show that's been simulcasting on Crunchyroll for the past few months. It's about to wrap up its season next week, and the show is fucking amazing. Watch it. So yeah, we love it so much that we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to make that discussion video on my channel, so look out for that. Other than that, Toonami Squad socials, like Toonami Squad on Twitter, Toonami Squad Instagram, Toonami Squad Facebook, Blue Sky. We got our Threads and a TikTok, which has been taken off from what Steve has been saying. And then go to the Toonami Squad site, for all the articles and everything. And also expired merch at redbubblecut.com. That is a tradition as old as time that I got to keep bringing up. I don't even know if that's still up, but I keep saying it.
I haven't even seen it on Redbubble.
So
I
it
haven't,
probably doesn't exist anymore.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
But I think that's all my stuff. Logan, where can we find you?
On Twitter or Blue Sky at Schmolus1. I also generally do a live stream once a month with the Animego and Media OCD crew. That's part of our backer tier for Media OCD. So you would get exclusive Discord access for that though too. So shameless plug, join the membership for that. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, Eric, where can we find you?
I'm mainly on Twitter at erockstar5 on Twitter. I do have a YouTube channel too, but I eventually want to make content on there. I'm just still working out life stuff. But hopefully, I'm hoping soon I can get back into that kind of stuff. But for right now, I'm mainly on Twitter, complaining about a lot of stuff, typically, and tweeting during Toonami when I can. That's basically everything right now.
All right, Phantom, where can we find you?
In the fucking corner, crying about my dog.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you, man. 17 years. But anyway,
I wasn't aware. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I posted on Discord. Thank you guys.
If it makes you feel any better, 17 years is a long time for a dog.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and a funny fact about my dog.
Be happy.
Oh, sorry.
Be happy you got to spend those 17 years with that dog.
Yeah,
treasure it.
He's currently buried in the backyard where we planted a palm tree.
Nice. Nice little tribute.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Anyways, before I start crying again, you can follow me and Tonight's Squad Gaming Zone exclusively on Blue Sky. And you can check out Tonight's Squad Gaming Zone on twitch.tv/TS Gaming Zone. We typically stream Monday through Wednesdays, depending on the schedule. So you really have to check out Blue Sky, or I'll occasionally throw the schedule on the Twitch stories. But we're finally done with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Top tier Switch 2 game, 10 out of 10. Lol. Good game. Fantastic game. Yeah, and then now until Pokemon Legends ZA comes out, we are going to play through the original Metal Gear Solid on the Master Collection for the PS1. And it's weird that I played Kingdom Hearts 3 and I played Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. I never played the original Kingdom Hearts Final Mix on stream at all. So we are going to start our road to Kingdom Hearts 4 series starting Tuesday. And we're going to be playing every single Kingdom Hearts game up until Melody of Memory. Or at least until Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, which probably 2027 or 2028. Depending when Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 comes out. Which we should be getting news about that pretty soon.
All right.
Dead Air, next.
Joshua, where can we find you?
Oh man, I haven't done this in a while. You can find me on Twitter at JMV_70056. The same on Blue Sky, Threads, and wherever else we have social media. I can't remember the accounts anymore. It's been a while.
We did expand.
Yeah.
All right.
My username is pretty much the same on all my accounts. So.
All right. And Silver, where can we find you?
Well, on Twitter, it's at Silver Absolute 2. The 2 is Roman 2, so 2 eyes. And on Blue Sky at Silver Absolution 2. And that's it.
All right. And
well,
really
I do
quickly,
have a DeviantArt, but Yeah.
And really quickly, because they're not with us, but they were part of the podcast, you can find the other Sam at SC Universe at Blue Sky. He also writes our articles. And I don't know why you would want to, but you can find Andre on Twitter at the Dremos, like the DREMOS. And I don't know if he has any other socials, so I'm just plugging his Twitter. If you want to see some dog shit anime tastes, go ahead. Follow him. And
Make sure you do it out of work, though, just in case. You never know.
Listen, he is a
Yeah.
man of culture.
No, it's fine. But if you open up his Twitter at work, like, you don't want to get anyone in trouble, you know?
Yeah, no,
Let's just say Silver is speaking from personal experience, and I'll leave it at that.
So yeah,
Why you
this
gotta remind me of that?
so yeah, this wraps up our very special Toonami 10th anniversary celebration podcast.
Wait, let's
Y'all-
stretch it. Let's stretch it out another 10 minutes to make it that round 4
I do not want to do
No.
that.
No,
350
I have work
350
in the
is
morning.
I
fine.
think 350 is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much once again for tuning in. And
And
thank y'all
Logan will
for,
literally die of hunger before then.
Yeah. And thank y'all for following us for this long. If you've been there since the beginning, if you've shown up a little later, just thank y'all again for tuning in and listening to us shout at each other for almost 4 hours. But with that said, for a very special time, y'all take care. Y'all have a good night and see ya.
Stay gold.
Bye.
Bang.
Bananas.